And this is a big one. Five. That's right. Five count. Didn't who used to give that? Bundy used to do the five count. And didn't Big E do it as well for a while when he was a heel? I don't remember.
I remember.
Me neither, but somebody was doing it. But anyway, welcome back into the Big Five Project. We, Tunny, have officially arrived. 1997. I want to ask you this right off the bat. Right, first, I mean, just straight out of the chute. It's like jumping on the nastiest bull you can find and grabbing your nuts in one hand and hoping for the best. Um, is this 1997? Is this the most important year in professional wrestling history?
It's up there, right?
It really is.
We've been talking now for probably closer to 18 months, 12 to 18 months here on how the pieces are there. Like they're adding the pieces that they need that are going to be the greatest roster of all time for 4 or 5 years, and we're kind of here now.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and we're going to see in this event that just you guys who are tuning in know we're starting off 1997 Royal Rumble 1997. This is the year that things really change. This is really I mean, we've talked about Survivor Series 96 was kind of like the beginning of the Attitude Era to a certain extent. Well, there's no disputing that what happens at the events of Royal Rumble 1997 are absolutely the beginnings and the real start of the Attitude Era, and we're going to get into it here tonight on this episode. It's going to be a good one. 97 in general is going to be awesome. We're going to cover 7 events in 97 because we got the big 5, and then we got 2 side quests that we're going to do in 97 as well. We got Canadian Stampede and Bad Blood. I'm just putting it out there for people right now so you know what you're in for the next 7 episodes of the Big 5 Project. But also, Tony, I got to say, man, thank you for being here. This is the 350th episode of the Attitude of Aggression Wrestling podcast. And of course, that includes Unidentified History, that includes Game Gone Wrong and all that other stuff. But 350 episodes doesn't seem like that long ago we were doing 300, but now all of a sudden, here we are, 350. I'm only
You,
250 behind you. So there you
that
go.
and I was gonna say something about that. So we just did 519 this week.
Yeah, I know.
Um, but it's funny. Like we I think you started like a month after us, maybe like 2014, right? We started in September.
2015.
You
2015.
were
So you
2015.
guys started before me and then you kind of revamped and then I came in.
Well, yeah, you caught up to us because we started doing chair shot radio and we were doing just the Frankie DeFalco show as DWI like once a month, and then we went back, and then Dave created this whole other huge thing with Patrick, and started doing a whole bunch of other stuff in the sports side and the music side and the nerd side, and Attitude
Yeah.
of Aggression did wasn't as regular, but I mean, you would, if you were, you'd probably be right there around 500 right now if it weren't for all of
Oh,
that stuff.
well, I think let's be honest, if old Gator had stuck around, that would have helped a lot. That
Hmm.
was a big thing. But honestly, if I hadn't branched out with your great idea to branch out into this other stuff with Unidentified History and Game Gone Wrong, um, yeah, I'd still be stuck in the late 280s or something like that by now. But uh, it's been a wild day, and I don't want to talk about it too much because that's something for a different episode. But on the unidentified history side of things,
Wait, first though, I gotta say this, and then we can move on with the rest of the show. And I know you want to talk unidentified history here for a little bit,
just very briefly,
but congratulations on 350. It's
thank you,
something
sir.
that's very worth being congratulatory of. And when you texted me that the other day, I was like, I am so glad that you did a different episode, that I get to be on 350 in the meantime, because we were going to do this last week.
Yeah,
Um, and other
yeah,
life happened, and stuff.
it
But I'm
worked out
always
well.
always very proud of my contribution to your website and podcast and shows, and it's like my second home right here, Attitude of Aggression.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, and things worked out okay. We had the UAP con came in between, and that kind of gave me 349, and then here we are at 350. Yeah, all I'm going to say about the UAP files is stuff got released today. Uh, I'll give him credit. President Trump came through with some of this stuff. Now, is it world shaking to the core? No, I don't think so. I mean, some of the Apollo 17 stuff is very very interesting. I don't know if you've looked
They
at any of
wanted
the stuff yet.
secrets. I gave them secrets. Now they don't
That's
want any more secrets.
I think more secrets are coming, but yeah, the stuff. I mean, NASA wasn't being upfront and forthright with us about not having any sort of a weird information. Go figure.
Dave, I don't know if you subscribe to Mr. Beast on YouTube or not, but one of his latest, well, it's not one of his latest. You might have to scroll for it, but it's like bomb shelters. And the last one is the government bomb shelter inside like Mount Cheyenne or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's worth you would like search for it, watch the video. It's like 15, 18 minutes. It's really cool. At the end you get to see part of this and how they make them turn the camera off for different stuff. And they
yeah,
actually do a funny joke where they talk about alien life forms and things of that nature. So it's hilarious. If you're an unidentified history person, check out the bomb shelter Mr. Beast special on YouTube, his YouTube channel.
yeah. And I'm sure I'll be doing something on unidentified history to address some of this stuff. I mean, some of the pictures are like the one taken from the moon, where if that's real, where there's like some triangular light formation on the moon, it's like, okay, I don't have a good explanation for that, that sort of thing. So we'll see what comes of it. It's a good start. I think I was like listening on some of the guys' shows today, and it's I think part of it is them trying to gauge the public interest. Is the public interested in this? Um, is there going to be mass? Is there mass panic going on out there? Are the religious institutions crumbling in the wake of the fact that we released a little bit of this? No. Okay, let's move on. Let's go. Let's give them a little bit more and give them a little bit more. And as long as they've got the power structure in place, then it should be fun. But we're not here to talk that. That'll come on a different show, different episode of unidentified history. I'm sure that'll be coming up soon. But for this episode, though, we do have, we like to talk some of the current stuff that's going on. We do have a pretty big event coming up tomorrow. Backlash from Tampa. I assume DJ's not going, that sort of thing, because even though it's in Tampa, he's got his own stuff going on and that sort of thing. But what let's kind of let me pull up the card here, Tony. Let's see what we got going on.
Only
And
five matches.
Only 5 matches, yeah, and it's going to be in Tampa.
Five match. It's starting at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can tune into the Chair Shot YouTube channel at 5 p.m. Eastern. Myself and Christopher Platt will be doing a pre-show, just having a good old time. We might get some friends to stop by as well, so make sure you tune into that. Plug.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to tune in. You
Maybe
never know what's going
Dave
to
might
happen.
be there too.
You never know what's going to happen.
If you don't tune in, though, you are cursed.
Cursed. You should be cursed if you don't tune in. Everybody tune in for the chair shot. So let's kind of run through the card a little bit here and see what's happening on Backlash. So this first match that we've got, Danhausen, you're talking about being cursed. There you go, Tony. Ooh, you are cursed. Danhausen in a mystery partner versus Kit Wilson and The Miz. I guess the question I got for you is, who's Danhausen's mystery partner? I mean, WWE lately has, I mean, let's be honest, lots of people have been released in the last week or two. I think the most shocking release of the week came in the form of one of the top 5 tag teams of all time in the New Day. If you're just going straight on success and on title reigns, they're one of the best of all time.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, who would be that top 5 would be who then? Edge and Christian, the Hardys, the Dudleys, Usos, and the New Day.
I mean, if we're talking all time, I got to put the
WrestleMania
era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to put the Legion of Doom in there because their success in WWE was pretty limited at that point. I mean,
but like they were big during the WrestleMania era, is what I'm saying. Although,
well, yeah, they won.
Were they bigger in the early '80s?
Yeah. When they became like the Triple Crown, I guess you can call it the only Triple Crown champions. AWA, NWA, and WWF championships. But like from the era you're talking about, I mean, I think, you got to have the 3 teams that were in the big matches. Edge and Christian, Hardys, Dudleys are there. You got the Usos, the New Day. Maybe slot the New Age Outlaws in there somewhere. I don't know.
Not ahead of any of those, I don't think.
Yeah, I would agree with you. But yeah, I mean, there's been a big purge of talent in WWE lately for a variety of
I'll
reasons that
listen. I'll be the one to do it. Are they going to AEW? Was that an old picture or something? Mrs. Attitude, check it in.
Mrs.
Good to see you,
Attitude
Miss.
is
Good to
here.
see you,
Yeah.
Mrs. Attitude.
gotta gotta let her know what's up. There you
You're a
go.
saint for taking care of your husband, by the way.
She is
What a pain in the ass he is. Well,
really.
happy early Mother's Day, Mrs. Attitude.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day, early Mother's Day, Mrs. Attitude. I guess I got to get you something. So,
Oh yeah, you better.
I better, I better take care of that. But, yeah, I don't, what were you were talking about something about the cuts, right?
Oh, I was
Before
saying I'll be the
she
one to bring it up.
distracted me.
No, that's okay. That's fine. That's good.
She's a good distraction.
I, I would say, um, is the rumors of them going to AEW true? Was that an old picture that Kenny Omega posted, or what
That
was
was
that?
that was from a few years back at a I think it was a Street Fighter tournament that they
Yeah,
had where
yeah,
it was
yes,
Kenny and the Bucks and
yes.
the New Day were there. It is an old picture, but I would be
How many
I
60-day no compete?
my wife telling me what I can get her for. Yeah, that's true. You are going pretty soon for Disney, so I guess I should do it. It's always difficult when they do the releases, whether the non compete clauses go into place right away or whether they're voided by the fact that they're released. Does the release void the contract? I've always been of the opinion that if you're terminating their contract, that releases them from the contract and maybe the non compete as well.
Well, with that clause in the termination, like your
Right.
termination is upon a 60-30 90-day no compete. Like I
Right.
don't know, they said it was mutual as well, but like I would only almost I would believe that they maybe went and said, hey, like not being disrespectful, always going to be our home. We'll be back for our Hall of Fame induction,
Yeah.
but if you're not going to use us, can we go? That's kind of how I
Well,
feel. Like that's how I hope it went.
right. And Ray's speculation is that they were offered a cut and pay and they said, no, we don't want to do that. And they said, well, then we're going to release you. And they said, fine.
The rumors about a lot of non super upper level talent having to take pay cuts, that would make sense.
Yeah. I would think that they would go to AEW rather than go to anywhere else. I mean, they're not done yet, and you wonder, Big E's obviously the situation with him. He's not going anywhere
No,
because he's got a
he's
good thing
not.
with
Dan
WWE.
and I said the same thing last night.
So he's not going to, I mean, if he could still wrestle, maybe but that would have made a difference to the whole circumstance.
That's exactly what we were saying. Like it's
Yeah.
been very minimal, meaningful programs since Big E has gotten hurt. Like right
Yeah.
afterwards, yes, and then a little bit after that, yes, and then they redid
Well,
the Usos New Day thing, yes, but since
yeah.
then, no.
And the heel turn never worked out for them. They had that good moment at WrestleMania 41 where they won the titles. They had a good run in NXT where they were champions, but beyond that, it just never landed. And so I think they end up in AEW. To be honest with you, Tony, I think that'd be the perfect place for them. The tag team division there is very strong. You've got a built-in rivalry with built-in rivalry with FTR. Remember when they debuted and they squashed the New Day on that one match on Raw when they were
And
the revival.
as much as
Um,
I hate to say it, I guess the Young Bucks against the New Day is a dream match.
I mean I would love to watch that, and I think they'll be revitalized down there. It's a lot of stuff. I mean, the question, of course, comes down to will Tony use them properly, and that's
Well,
always a big issue.
here's the thing: can they help down there, right? Because like I I I feel like people who listen to Dan and I feel like we hate AEW, and I don't hate AEW. I just don't think it's very good. It's not for me right now. And when I say they can help, not everything needs helping. Not everything needs to be for me or WWE esque or what we picture perfect professional wrestling. But ask any knowledgeable wrestling fan or someone who's been in the business, they are underachieving.
With the roster that they had, yes. Now, I mean, and it's weird, when you look at the industry, kind of how the pendulum swings a little bit. Where for a while there, everybody was wanting to go to WWE. Everybody was wanting to get out of their AEW contract. Rusev, Aleister Black, um, you know, all these powerhouse Hobbs, all these guys made that exodus. And then they got to WWE, and WWE kind of ran into the same problem that AEW had. They had all these people, and they didn't really know what to do with them, and they didn't use them properly. And now, now you got a situation where sure they can go back to AEW, but well, has Tony learned anything? Has he learned how to properly manage his roster, how to make a good card? You've got all this talent, and if you got guys like the New Day going back, Aleister Black's not going back. Zelina, don't think she wants to go anywhere near AEW. So it's like, if they migrate back there, what then happens?
See, my thing though is the difference between WWE and AEW, and why WWE can afford to bring back people, and even though they're going to leave again, like Aleister Black, right? Everybody was excited. They didn't do much, right? We talked about how the releases weren't really that impactful for a lot of people that weren't doing anything. Maybe they can go somewhere else and do something. But the difference,
Right.
largely, when you go back and forth, is WWE goes and finds these people at a certain point in the year, bring them in, and see if they can rekindle it, i.e., a Cody, a Drew, et cetera, right? But if they don't, WWE has easy replacement for them. Ethan Page, Javon
Mm-hmm.
Evans, Sol
Ricky
Ruka,
Saints.
Ricky Saints, Fatal Attraction. What a fucking debut on the main
Oh,
roster,
Fatal
right? And
Influence.
Fatal
Fatal
Influence.
Influence. Yeah.
I'm fatally attracted to Fatal Influence.
They're
How's
they're
that
not
sound?
there were not
Uh,
boiling bunnies
yes, they're
in
buddies. They can bring
SmackDown.
out just pots of rabbits every fucking time. Here they
Shit.
come. Oh, you smell that burnt rabbit? It's got to be Fatal
It's got to
Attraction.
be Fatal Attraction, baby. Yeah, no shit.
No,
Wow.
Fatal Influence, but and just it's brilliant there. But that just is a testament to HBK feeding Hunter and knowing exactly what one can give and one needs.
Yeah. No, and the NXT influence is huge in WWE. Right? The three guys who came up, Trick, Oba, Javon Evans, have made a huge difference. You got
Ethan
Ethan Page and
Page.
Ricky Saints, like you're saying,
How
Fatal
did you
Influence. JC Jane really came
knock it
into
out of the
her
park?
own. I mean, and yeah, now you look at she's getting wins over Charlotte Flair. That's big for those guys to come up and just immediately. So Ruka's jumping in Becky's face, and it's not just Sports Illustrated saying it.
This
It's
that Becky's a
everybody's.
bitch. Yeah, dude, Becky's so good right now. I don't even
Yeah,
care. She is just so awesome right now.
yeah, she is. She is. Let's get back to the Backlash card and talk about it. So who's Danhausen going to get as his partner? I mean, I know who I'm hoping is going to be his partner. But I wanted to go to you first and say, who do you think is Danhausen's partner for this match?
Who are you hoping?
I'm hoping it's our Truth, because I've been wanting Truth and Danhausen to get together for a
Well, how
while.
could they do that though? Because Truth and Priest still hold the tag titles.
Well, that's true.
So,
That's what I'm saying. I was hoping it was going to be them, but
what
that's
Dan
not
and
it.
I have wanted from the beginning was Demonhausen, but
Ooh. But Finn's so busy with the whole
yeah,
Judgment Day
exactly,
shit.
exactly. So what I've heard is it's CM Punk,
I, you know,
friend,
I,
friend, because you know that's who brought him in.
yeah, that would be cool. I mean, to Punk gets back on the winning track with
He
a pretty big squash of the Miz and Kit Wilson. I mean, I'm trying to
Danhausen
think.
Danhausen calls, and he's put a post out on social media before too. He calls AJ Lee and CM Punk friendhausens.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe like it's Royce. Who's it? Royce Keys? Is that the
Royce
name he's
Keys.
going?
He seems like he's going to more be involved with the Jacob Fatu storyline. Like they met each other in the back and they're longtime friends. So I think that'd be a great way to elevate Royce Keys to get him involved in what's going to happen. I know we're going to talk about that shortly, but
Yeah, I mean, whoever the mystery partner is going to be, I've heard, you've heard Royce Keys is somebody, Ricky Saints is somebody who's been mentioned.
how did you like? Did you
Cody's
like?
not got anything going on, so
Yeah, but you know what, Dave? Here's the crazy thing. In 2 weeks, we have a Saturday night's main event, and then the week after that, we have uh, Clash, I believe, in Italy.
mm,
And
yeah,
then a month after that, we have Night of Champions, and then we have another Saturday night's main event in MSG, and then the first weekend of August, it's SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. Yeah, it doesn't slow down, that's for sure. But whoever's going to be Danhausen's partner, they're obviously getting a win. Miz is not getting a win here, so
I've wanted to ask you this question a couple different times here. You've brought him up. How did you like? And by the way, Cody is just not doing it for me lately. But how did you like Ricky Saint's debut, his promo? because Cody and him had a fine enough match. They know each other great,
Yeah,
but I was underwhelmed. And Saints does not look like he's big enough to be any kind of main title star to me.
no, he doesn't. I mean, his promo skills are fine, that sort of thing. I didn't mind that, and him and Cody have history. I'm sure Cody did everything he could to put him over, but like
I
you're
would
saying,
imagine.
Ricky's from the standpoint, I mean, when you look at Ricky and you say, yeah, that's US championship, that's IC title territory, that sort of thing. But challenging for the WWE championship, when you look at the two guys at the top, which is Roman and Cody right now, it's like, no. Yeah, how do you put him in there? That sort of thing. That's not, I mean, that's not a knock on Ricky. He's obviously got talent. We've seen him. He's a talented guy. He's a good wrestler, but when you compare and contrast him to the guys at the top of that card, it's like, yeah, he doesn't really fit in here, that sort of thing. But um, I think I'm like you, underwhelmed would be a good word for the whole thing, and it's all right. It's yeah, I want to talk about this match though. This is the match that we didn't get at WrestleMania that it looks like we are getting now, and that's Io Sky versus Asuka. Lots of history there with these two. Uh, you know, one of the big releases, one of the most unpopular releases from the whole WWE crop lately is Kyrie Sane. Um, Fan outcry for this has been loud and vocal, to say the least, to bring back Kyrie, that sort of thing. Do you think that could there be anything to that? Could there be a Kyrie Sane return that maybe, and we saw this, whether you believe the whole R-Truth thing when he got released previously, if you watch Unreal, and I have completed all of season 2, did they cave to the fans' pressure? Was this all in play? Could they have duped the fans a second time? Absolutely. I think they could have played the whole Kyrie Sane thing knowing that this match was coming. So I'll go to you first. Who do you see winning this, and is there a Kyrie factor at all in this whole thing?
Boy, I would I doubt it, but it'd be great if it was because they kind of wasted the whole thing. Maybe they knew that they were going to get rid of her, so they didn't want her involved in the feud. That's a possibility as well. Dan and I joked, what if they gave this match 7 minutes, like every other WrestleMania match besides a few? Like that would be just the biggest waste ever. You finally
Yeah,
get these
for these
in
two.
a match, and it's a 7 minute match at Backlash, and then they both go their own way.
Well,
Um,
this has the prospects to steal the show. It really does.
I don't I don't disagree at all. This should be a feud that goes on throughout the summer that culminates in some kind of title involved at some point. I mean, like they could have they could have headlined night one for the title if at Mania if they would have done the story right.
Yeah,
There's no question.
yeah,
Everybody wondered why you had Io, who was one of your top 5 stars the year before, and no WrestleMania match.
yeah.
Insanity.
She helped Rio win the championship, and
And
then
it's not like a Tiffany
they split
Strat.
them up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's not like a Tiffany Stratton situation where she just like it just didn't continue that upward trend. It downticked a little. Io's
right.
still one of the most popular wrestlers in the world.
Absolutely. Um, who you got winning this one? I got my thoughts, but I want to hear what you have to say first.
I would say Asuka should win this one. Like,
Do you?
let's get her back involved in the main event scene. You can always have Io take some time off and come back. Like she lost her best friend. She's gonna take a break. She's been going pretty hard. I don't think she's had some time off in a
Yeah.
while, and I would love to see Asuka get another title run. That's for sure.
I
Because whoever she loses that belt back to, that's huge.
I like the call to have Oscar win here. That being said, I'm gonna go with EO just because I think like you want to keep her at the top of the card, and maybe like you were saying, she should have had a match at WrestleMania. She didn't. They give her a moment here, but either way, whoever wins this, I 100,000% agree with you. This should not be the end of this feud. This should go. This should stretch out. Let's get a few more matches out of these girls because they can obviously bring it, and there's a lot you can tell as far as a story between just two of the most phenomenal female wrestlers from Japan that we've had in ever. I
Or
mean, I
just
think ever.
yeah, not just Japan, but the entire world.
Yeah, yeah. I this match, if they give this, yeah, 7 minutes is not long enough, but I mean, give this 10, 15 minutes would be a good spot for these two to just tear it down.
12 to 16.
That would work. I'd be okay with that. We get the rematch: Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn for the United States Championship. Sami Zayn has just kind of become. I mean, what are you thinking of Sammy right now? I know that this whole heel persona is. I don't know if it's landing with you or not. Um, what do you? How are you feeling about Sammy right now?
It's interesting. Like he's getting Trick over.
Yeah,
You know, they knew he was going to get over, but you want to guarantee it. Put someone in a program with Sami Zayn and tell Sammy the way you want the crowd to react, and he's going to get him to do it. That interaction with Cody backstage was interesting. We're both good. Good. No, we're not the same.
yeah,
I had loved the weeks prior where I knew Sammy was in the gingerbread man outfit, and that was great. And then to beat up the Trick kind of gingerbread guy was hilarious. It's just going to be a long, slow building him into this evil persona and see if it's big enough for him to win the title at WrestleMania next year because I
yeah.
think a lot of people want that.
Well, it's. I mean, I think the big factor for next year is Saudi Arabia. You know
Exactly.
that is that has got to be foremost in their minds as to how do
Why
we get
can't
Sammy into
yeah.
that spot? What's the best way to get him into that spot? The problem is if you put him in there as a heel, the Saudi crowd's not going to support that. They'll cheer for him
I
anyway.
it could be his Toronto. It could be his,
Yeah,
Alberta.
that's true. We're talking to talk Canadian Stampede in a few episodes, and that could exactly be what's going on there. I want to ask you, John Cena is supposedly going to make some earth-shattering announcement at Backlash. You got any? I mean, they always say this, and it always lands like a wet fart in church. It's just nothing substantial. Like Triple H saying, "We got a bunch of surprises coming," and there are none. Um, what I think, if I had to guess, I'm going to speculate that they're going to announce that WrestleMania 44 is going to be in Nashville. That's my guess.
That and he's also been working on that new WWE like experience.
In
So
Saudi.
4 days ago he tweeted it's official. I just we follow each other, so just want everybody to
Yeah.
know that. It's true, by the way. John Cena and
Yeah,
I
we
follow each other on X. Just guys want you to know that.
Sean Cena was following me on X when I had an X account.
Sure, Dave. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Right, Dave. Sure. Right. Good.
Oh, hold on. We got Suzanne Landers from Somewhere in the Skies. You never met Suzanne. Um, Suzanne, thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you're here. Susan and I have not talked much since the X nonsense went down where I was banished for something that wasn't my fault. But thank you for tuning in, Suzanne. We'll try and be classy. Suzanne's an attorney like me, Tony. So now you got problems. You got two attorneys in here and that whole thing. So
I have,
yeah, you
I
don't
have,
care.
I have like a half a dozen friends who are attorneys, so
That's,
I'll just get you all on the call together, and then I slip away while you argue with each other.
yeah, I don't. I
No,
think
but
Suzanne.
hi,
I think
Suzanne.
Suzanne's.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, hey Suzanne saying hi. I think Suzanne. I think you're in Tennessee as well, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think Nashville's definitely the front runner for 44, and I think that's going to be made pretty official pretty quick.
So he's been working on this new
Yeah.
WWE experience for the superstars and fans. It's a new kind of WWE interactive thing, so I think that's going to be a large part of it. And yes, I think WrestleVotes on the podcast was saying that Nashville was negotiating for 44, so I wouldn't doubt it
Yeah, I think they were in the running for it before it went to
for a
Vegas for two
while.
years in a row. Yeah, they've been like Minneapolis was in the running, and then they capitulated and said, "Here's SummerSlam."
Here's
It's
two
like,
night
oh, okay.
SummerSlam. Well, hey, two
There's a
night
2 night
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. So, all right, that works.
You know what though? They're
Um,
going to probably get more tourism dollars in August than they would have in early April up in Minneapolis.
yes, yeah. I mean, there's more to do. I mean, it just
In
climate
August, yeah,
wise.
you're oh my god, it's like yeah, you're set.
Yeah. Yeah, so Suzanne's here. Maybe we gotta get Ryan Sprague in here. Ryan was doing a wrestling podcast for a while, and Ryan runs Somewhere in the Skies, and he would have fun on some of this stuff. But yeah, is there any chance that John says he's coming out of retirement? I say zero chance of that. But you don't know. I mean, would that be the earth shattering? Are you going to lean in with the raised eyebrow? There it is. Yes, exactly. So no chance of that, but you never know. Never say never, right, Tony? Except this time we're going to say not this. I'm not going to say never. I'm going to say not this year. So that sort of thing.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Overruled, but that's okay. Thanks for playing the home. Thanks for playing the home version of the
Was
game.
that a proper objection there or no?
No.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm not a lawyer, and I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So
Yeah, nice, nice. You got any chance Sammy wins it? I mean, I know people are talking about doing something that's going to shake up the
no,
landscape of
I.
WWE, but this is
So
not it.
it, you're talking any chance Sammy wins the title back?
Yeah,
No. So what I think is you need to get Sammy and Trick away from each other now, and the best way to do that is to have Lil Yachty get involved and the ref not see it, and Trick wins and everybody loves it, and then Sammy blows up on the ref. So now Sammy's a bad guy, but he's not involved with Trick anymore. His beef now is with the ref. His beef now is with the whole WWE conspiracy thing you can start up with again, and he can start the slow descent. But I think Trick needs to move on and Sammy needs to move away, especially if you're going to go in those directions we talked about.
yeah. I'm hoping we get like Trick Mello. Let's get those guys back in a feud on the main roster. That could be a lot of fun for the United States Championship. But you're right. Sammy needs to move on. It feels like they're trying to bide their time until KO can come back. For
Is
Sammy and
he ever
that
going to
sort of
come
thing.
back?
He will. I think eventually. Maybe. I'm hoping
He's doing a lot of
beyond hope.
he's doing a lot of non WWE stuff right now
He's
for
he's had a lot of
TKO, I
hockey
think.
games lately. He's had a lot of
Yeah.
hockey games lately. This match is going to be very interesting. Seth Rollins takes on Braun Breaker. Boy, these guys have been doing some great work, man. I mean, and the promos that they've been cutting have been really good. And uh, you know, I mean, I'll go first on this one. I like Braun to win this match because I think Seth. I mean, there's going to be nonsense involved. The Vision will get involved. It'll help Braun get a win. But Braun's coming back. He needs that win over Seth, and I think Seth is trying to, like he kind of put over Gunther at WrestleMania.
We lost Dave here for a minute. Hopefully he comes back. Talking about Seth Rollins. I think I agree with him. I think Braun Breaker should win. And hopefully we get Dave back here. He's kind of frozen. I'll just keep going. I think Braun should win because I think Seth is the most
Are
Teflon
you back?
person. Yes, you're there. He's there. Is he there?
I'm here. It was just spinning and doing this whole trying to reconnect
Yeah,
bullshit,
I
and it never
was I
stopped.
was I was riffing, not
Okay.
well, but I you were talking about Braun's time to win. I agree. I'll be quick, and then you can get back into where you were, just so we can kind of keep the flow going here. I was saying I think Seth is the most Teflon guy on the entire roster. Like it doesn't matter if he wins or
Yeah.
loses. Like it does and it doesn't, but like right now it doesn't. And Braun has already failed at this task, so have him fail again, especially with them finally getting a good version of the Vision back together, and Paul's gonna lead it, and we've seen that, right?
Yeah.
Um, I thought the best part of the episode though was at the beginning where we had the callback to Seth after Roman's being told it's not his time to open the show, looking at Roman going, "You're in my way." That's happened
Well,
before. That's happened
there's
before.
there's foreshadowing there. I mean, if these
Force.
guys,
What did you the password is foreskin.
yes, foreskin. Oh, Billy, no.
Oh,
I
you
think
son of a bitch.
I think like I think like you were saying, like we were saying leading into WrestleMania that we think the plan was for Seth and Roman to go
Hmm.
at it, and I think if those guys stay healthy and can get to 43 in Saudi Arabia and they're in good shape, why wouldn't you go with Seth versus Roman?
Have we gotten to the point where the first next possible time you have to do it because you may not like there we may not want to
Yeah,
realize it, guys, but like Roman and Seth are not going to be around forever,
no,
especially Roman. And Seth is not the he's healthy, but he's had a lot of wear and tear. Like these
yeah,
aren't, I think we take for granted the new age Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. They're getting old.
Yeah, Seth is healthy for now, healthy-ish, but he is he's always at risk to get hurt again. And whether it's work or not is another story. But I think there's a lot of truth in what you say. Do they hedge their bet and hope that these guys stay healthy for another 9, 10, 11 months, or do you pull the trigger at say like a 2 night SummerSlam and say let's get them in the ring in Minneapolis
Well,
and put it on there?
I think you can hold out for WrestleMania this next year, and then at that point, if you don't get it 2 years in a row, then you're like, okay, sometime it needs to be epic.
Yeah.
I still think we're getting something else at SummerSlam. So
Okay. But I think we're on the same page. Braun wins this one, and the vision gets solidified, and then we go on from there.
yeah, I think Seth could take a break here for a little while, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, heal up a little bit, get a little bit more healthy, like you're saying, and go in that direction. Let's talk the main event: Jacob Fatu versus our tribal chief Roman Reigns. I mean, the promos have been fun. I'll say going into this whole thing, I think Jacob has shown that he's a better speaker than I thought he was, and he's held his own on these promos a little bit. I get tired of the no Jacob Fatu is all gas and no brakes. I get it, man. I get it.
You know what I
We don't.
mean?
Yeah, it's like I get it. Um, this is a match like when when Jacob first came into WWE and was tormenting everybody. This would have gone over a little bit better, I think. Right now, Jacob doesn't have that air of invincibility about him that he used to have. But um, that being said, I mean, if you want to shake up the world, this would be the place to do it in the most stunning fashion possible. But I don't see that happening. I mean, we're talking the tribal fucking chief here. So,
So some other cuts: JC Mateo and Tongaloa.
yeah,
We haven't seen Tamatanga on TV since that happened. We have seen Tolatonga with Solo.
solo.
If you really want to go back and have another bloodline feud this summer, you have Solo and Tola cost Roman and Jacob's your new champion. And you're like, well, why did we give Roman the belt? Just to so he could lose it? Yep. Just so he could lose it to Jacob. And now how legitimate is Jacob? That's not going
Yeah,
to happen. But it should. It should happen. Why couldn't they go back and forth for the rest of the summer and Roman beats him at SummerSlam again for the title and we go on our merry way? And now look how elevated Jacob is. At the same time, I see Roman winning. I see Jacob becoming a part of the bloodline. I'm not sure what story they have with the bloodline now because
yeah.
I thought they were going to do the whole solo thing, but it doesn't look like they can do that without another side of the family.
Well, that's the thing is you've got, I think if you're looking for good contenders for Roman before you can get to Roman versus Seth or possibly Roman Cody 3 somewhere down the line,
Solo.
Tala Tonga is a good, I mean, if Roman's going to run through this bloodline sort of light kind of
Does
situation,
he beat them all
Jacob,
and then
yeah,
they all fall in line with him and now there's six of them? That's a
I
possibility.
I think I don't want to see them do this whole bloodline and bloodline 2.0, wolf pack black
Well,
and red sort of
didn't
situation
Roman
again.
say we're like this? We need to be like this, and maybe
Yes.
beating these guys one by one. Okay, you know what? He got his title shot. Now he fell in line. Do you want a title shot? Fine, but
Well,
then
I
you got to
mean,
fall in line. And now there's six of them.
and if you look at like this last week, Solo and Tala, basically saying Jacob Fatu's a dead man, that sort of thing. And so,
Red
do
herring,
they align with Roman, Jimmy
maybe.
J, Tala, and Solo, and then Jacob's like you're saying the odd man
That
out trying to
that could
fight
be it.
through this, and then eventually just says, if you can't beat him, join him.
Hmm.
Like that sort of thing. I don't know, but
Or
I
or is there new bloodline blood coming in?
who's left that they haven't brought in?
Zilla.
Yeah, Zilla.
There's a
That's
there's a couple other people they could reach out to that are part of it, but haven't been around for a while. I don't know how old they would be or not, but why weren't you invited? You said when Dave put out the invite in the Big Five chat, Ray, you're the
nobody
only one.
responded.
You put 100 on it as if you were gonna be here. Where are you?
Yeah, Ray. What
Seriously, here
Cuddy?
I'm gonna
What
look
Cuddy
at the
said?
here. Dave's like, Dave, everybody know. Just hold on. I was checking out my my mutual follower John Cena's line. Let me get off of there and check this
Yeah,
out.
you can't
Here it
see
is.
him, but
Tomorrow at see that 100 there?
that's Ray Cash.
That's Ray Cash.
That's
As
Ray
if
Cash.
like, oh, 100, I'll be there.
Yeah, Ray's too busy being Christoph over in the phenomenally funky facts.
Cristobal.
Christoph, not Cristobal. Kayleen saying, yeah, there you go, Ray with his demon emoji. Kayleen saying, hey Ray. Uh, yeah, no, Christoph from that Truman Show. That's because Ray
Oh,
is
sure. I got
he's
it. Yeah,
back
yeah.
behind the
Yep.
scenes. You can't
Yeah.
see Ray, but
Ed
there's like
Harris. Ed Harris, right?
now we got AJ in here. Did we miss trivia for this? We got trivia done, AJ. We got. I am the victor. I am the ruler of all I survey. Speaking of rulers, we're about to get to the ruler of the world in
You
this
guys wouldn't.
episode.
I wasn't even there, and I bet you guys dicked around forever, and that's why it took for
No,
so long.
not really. Not really. No,
Okay, not really.
not really. All right, let's get into it. Let's move along here. And the main event of what we're here to talk about today. This beginning for real of the Attitude Era, the Royal Rumble 1997. When last we left off on the Big Five Project, we had just covered Survivor Series 1996, talking about masters and rulers of the world, Tony. Psycho Sid captured the WWF Championship from Shawn Michaels because Jose Lothario was having a heart attack, and Shawn decided he cared more about his mentor and his trainer than the championship. And Sid said, okay, I'm going to hit you in the back with this freaking camera, and then I'm going to power bomb your ass, and I'm going to take the title, much to the delight of virtually everybody in Madison Square Garden.
Should we plug Bandwagon Nerds right now?
Go ahead. Plug it.
Much like Daredevil when Cherry was having a heart attack.
Yes, that's very. My God, I did not realize that, Tony. Daredevil, it was Shawn Michaels, and Cherry was Jose Lothario. And Bullseye was kind of Sid, but not really because he rescued him. So that, yeah, I guess I could see the correlation there.
Tune in Sundays at 2 Eastern, the Bandwagon Nerds.
Have you watched any of the shows this week? I'm just curious.
Not yet.
Have you?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
I'll shut the hell up then. So, but so after Survivor Series goes down, we get on the road to the Royal Rumble 1996, and there's a few storylines to talk about on this leading into this thing. Let me find it. Okay, we got. That's not it. I'm looking up something earlier today from.
That was Pornhub, right?
It was Pornhub. That's right. Hey, my wife's on here. No, just kidding.
Women over 90.
Yeah, we're just women over 90.hub. So,
oh, that's what it is.
It is now. So we got a few feuds to talk about heading into this event. So one of the big ones was Goldust and Triple H, who's still known as Hunter Hearst Helms. We have not got the gimmicks quite yet, but we're getting there. And this is kind of more of the same sort of thing. So this whole feud is kind of circling around Marlena. And they had In Your House 12, which I think they did it like in Daytona or something like that in front of 5,500 people, or I don't know which one it was. But anyway, Helmsley tried to seduce Marlena, and Goldust responded by attacking Helmsley, and this set off a whole big series of things. The feud escalated December 30th, 1996, episode of Raw. There's a match between Goldust and Jerry Lawler. Helmsley comes to the ring. He tries to carry Marlena away. Mark Marrow gets involved, so forth and so on. So Marrow had dropped the Intercontinental Championship at this point in time to Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and then we're going to get this match here at the Royal Rumble. We got on July 22nd, 1996, and we talked about this on the last episode. Farouk, Ron Simmons came in, made a big impact, injured Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed had a real kidney injury. They wrapped this story around it. This went on for months. And when Ahmed came back, he started attacking the Nation of Domination, brandishing a 2x4, channeling his inner hacksaw Jim Duggan, ho, and doing all that sort of stuff. So we're going to get the match here between Ahmed Johnson and Farouk. We get this interesting Vader and Undertaker situation where Vader kind of falls out of the whole title picture, where he was going to take on Shawn Michaels at Survivor Series 96. Shawn, of course, got pissed off for all the bullshit that happened at SummerSlam 96. Insert Psycho Sid. Sid wins the championship. Vader then starts this feud with Undertaker that kind of comes out of nowhere. Undertaker just gotten done with this whole thing with a Mankind and with Paul Bearer and all that kind of stuff, and here we have Vader stepping in, and it's like I think like Undertaker attacks Jim Cornette, and that's kind of the impetus behind this whole thing.
Well, we had speculated on the last Big Five that there was a weird dark match between Shawn Michaels and Vader, and maybe Vince didn't like what he saw and pivoted over to Sid.
That was part of it, but I think a lot of it had to do with that SummerSlam '96 and how Vader fucked that up. You know, he fucked up a few spots with Shawn. Shawn pulled his card, you know, because Shawn had a lot of stroke back then, and he said, "I don't want to work with this guy." And Vince said, "Well, how about Sid? You got good chemistry with him." And Shawn said, "Yeah, let's go in that direction."
Shawn's
Um,
like, yeah, no problem. He has half the brain that I do, and I'm twice the man that he is.
he's better on live streams than Vader is. So, but speaking of Sid, so this was the plan all along. Was the big pivot to Sid was Sid will win the title, and then Vince, and this is all wrapped around this interesting location for this event because this takes place January 19th, 1997, at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, with Jim Ross, Vince McMahon, and Jerry Lawler on commentary. Now, going to the Alamo Dome was a big departure for WWE at this point in time because they had largely been kind of catering to these smaller venues. You know, they had been, and I think where was there was this one event. I'm trying to look it up here and see if I can't find
Look at this.
what's up.
I'm trying to
Website
go to
security.
cage match.
Cage Match has got website security?
They won't let me go on.
Really?
Uh huh. Well, I mean, I could click to proceed to page, but I don't know. After all the conversations we've had, I think I'm just not gonna go.
No
Just not
shit.
gonna go to cage match. I got the
Yeah,
wiki up already, so we're good.
that's
I don't know
good. Yeah,
cage
well,
match's rating. Sorry, guys.
well, that's all right. We'll have to go in a different direction. But um, it had been 5 years since WWE had 60,000 fans in attendance at an event, right? I mean, this is 1998, so you're looking at when was the last time they did anything like SummerSlam '92, somewhere in there. I mean, it'd been where they're at Wembley in front of 70,000. I mean, it had been a
Oh,
while
as
since
far as
they
a
tried
big,
a
yeah,
big event like this, and they were at this point in time they were running like, and I think yeah. So the December 1996 in your house, 5,700 people in West Palm Beach. And I think, when you look at what WWE is doing at this point in time, the Monday Night War is hot and heavy at this point in time. WCW is well into the whole 83 weeks run that they're having. Hulk Hogan, NWO are running wild, literally. Uh, and WWE is still reeling a lot from the shit show that was like 1995. They're starting to pick up momentum and that sort of thing. But they've been largely catering to these smaller crowds, these arena shows. And I think it was Bruce Pritchard during in one of what was his podcast? What is it called? I'm drawing a blank. Somewhere. Oh shit. What is
something's
Bruce
burning.
Pritchard?
Well,
No.
that's Bert Kreischer.
Oh, something to
Some
wrestle with. Pop.
something to wrestle with.
Yeah, something to
Yeah,
wrestle with there. I can't. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on that. He had talked about how they wanted to do a big event, and they weren't even looking to sell this event out, Tony, but they just wanted to be in a bigger venue and pack as many people as they could get in there to show the world that hey, we can still draw a big crowd. So they booked this event at the Alamo Dome, saying let's see how many people we can actually pack into this whole thing, and you know, and they were selling it around a couple of things. Shawn Michaels, of course, the hometown hero from San Antonio, with the prospect of him recapturing the WWF Championship in his hometown. WWE did a lot of stuff to try and move tickets for this event. They, they were trying to get 71,000 people in there. They really, I think, like they had. So let's see, 71,000 was a capacity for Alamo Dome. In the end, they got 60,525 fans with 48,014 paying for the admission. So they comped a lot of people for this event, and that's okay. They lowered the prices significantly. Seats $18 for a pay-per-view, Tony. I wish they were doing that stuff nowadays. I'd be all over that stuff.
no
Um,
shit.
they were offering like prices as low as $5 to $7 through coupons at like participating Taco Bell restaurants. It's like, damn.
What is this?
Um,
Quiznos sub? Just bring any coupon in for $1 off.
yeah, exactly. We accept anything. So, like the Wrestling Observer, this is Dave Meltzer, of course, but this is back before Meltzer was a complete AEW sellout. Was recording this stuff. They were saying that
Still a dumbass.
yeah, it's still a dumbass. But they had about 28,000 people about 5 days before the pay per view, and then they did the whole Taco Bell promotion, and this got quite a few more people in there. About 20,000 more paid, and then they filled in the rest with comp sort of tickets. So whatever the case is, when you're talking a month earlier, they get 5,700 people in West Palm Beach, and then a month later they get 60,000. However they got there, AEW fans out there love to talk about what was it all in a couple years ago in Wembley and all the people. It's like, yeah, they had a lot of comping of going on there, 2-for-1 deals and all sorts of shit like that. And we've been critical of AEW about that, but when you look at this event, it's very comparable to that. Let's get as many people in here, however we get them in. It's going to create this great perception and this aura. And it worked for AEW brilliantly because people have been latching onto that for years now since it happened. And here, this is a big moment for WWE because this kind of signifies that they were on the road back. You got 60,000 people for this event. And yeah, when you watch this match back, the Royal Rumble 1997 event, the aesthetics of everything look great. Sitting there watching this thing like, yeah, this event looks phenomenal, to steal from phenomenal AJB. But your thoughts about the kind of the attendance and just what they did to get that many people in here and really create the perception that we can still draw a big crowd in WWE in 1997.
They got a stacked roster right now, to be honest with you. I mean, they do really do. You got Brett and Steve and Take and Vader and Psycho Sid and Shawn Michaels and Ahmed Johnson and Farouk and The Rock
Hunter,
and Hunter and Goldust, and I mean they're really solid. It's funny you were talking about all of the event and gathering and making it a spectacle, and something bigger than your regular ones. And I think about, you brought up AEW, but at the time it's WCW, and it made me immediately think of like Road Wild and Sturgis, where they had all the bikes and just the giant gathering, and it was a Saturday night pay per view. And I specifically remember being at home watching it, and I was like, this is so cool. And instead of cheering, all the bikes would rev, and it gave it kind of like, it gave the crowd a sense of legitimacy. Like, if they didn't like you, even though you were this big ass, badass professional wrestler, 5 or 6 of these guys were going to kick your ass in the crowd. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So it
right.
was one of the coolest events. I don't know. We'll have to touch on that at the very least when we get to that. I think that's in '97 as well, too. But if I remember correctly. But yeah, definitely an event. Definitely something like you said they hadn't had in what, almost 5 years,
Yeah, it had
four
been
and
a
a half
while.
years. SummerSlam '92, right?
Right. I mean, and like you raised Sturgis, which is a good example. But even on those lines, I mean, WCW wasn't exactly packing in stadiums and stuff like that. Arenas, yeah, no problem. Not that was not an issue. But they weren't doing a ton of stadium shows yet either. So,
The thing about
um,
it though, the difference between like AEW fans want to talk about that, WCW, and then when they eventually started going hot and heavy together, and WWE, they were selling out arenas every week.
yeah,
Like they
right.
had 15,000 people at their TV show every week.
Yeah. And during the heart of the Monday Night War, that was universal. I mean, both organizations were just packing people in every
Every
week, and
week.
we're not there yet, but we're getting really really close
Both
now.
both companies getting high fours and low fives every
Yeah,
week.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we are on the cusp of that. I mean,
Sixes
this
and
is
sixes and sevens on big weeks, by the way.
yeah.
That's insane to remember that.
Well, yeah, Raw and Nitro are doing big numbers like in '98 and that sort of thing. When you really get down to where this stuff takes hold, but I mean, this is the beginning stages of all this stuff right now. So, Tuddy, who's in the dark match? I know there's a dark match and there's an interesting person in this match, I
Oh my
believe.
goodness. There's like you want the free for all match? Because
Sure.
there's two dark matches and then there's a
Okay.
free for all. It has a lot of AAA. It's Perro Aguayo Jr. and Venom defeated Maniaco and Masco de la Merced. and then Blue Demon Jr., Octagon, and Tinieblas Jr. defeated Abismo Negro, Heavy Metal, and Hysteria. And then the free for all match was Mascarita Sagrada Jr. and La Parquita defeated Mini Mankind and Mini Vader in a midget match.
Yeah, and so they got it was smart because they're in Texas or in San Antonio.
Yep.
And so one of the big selling points was to the local audience is like, let's get a lot of the AAA guys in here. And they sure did. And that, granted, most of them are in these dark matches. You're going to see some of them in the Rumble as well, that sort
Yes.
of thing. But this was kind of smart. But one of the guys, and I was reading some of this, ends up being um, one of the guys, Hysteria. You mentioned Hysteria, right? And Hysteria actually is he's going to be an eventual ECW television champion. Super crazy.
Super crazy.
So he was in a dark match here at Royal Rumble 1997. So I thought that's kind of there's some if AJ's still listening, there's some trivia for you, Trickster, right there.
They also have the 6-man tag match after the Taker match in between the Rumble there with
Yeah,
a lot of the guys. Hector Garza's in that match, Pedro Aguayo.
yeah, exactly. So, talked about the dark matches, talked about the free for all. Let's get into the actual card. And we talked about this. This was one of the feuds leading into this thing. We get Gold Dust with Marlena taking Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who has Mr. Hughes with him uh, for the Intercontinental Championship. Um, Mr. Hughes came in after Mr. Perfect was supposed to be running this stuff with Hunter, but he left, and then they bring in Mr. Hughes, who is only going to be around for a short time, Tony, like a hot minute sort of thing. Like he lasts a week. Mr. Hughes ends up getting hospitalized with heart and kidney issues, winding up in intensive care. Now he's going to recover, but as he goes away, in this one, he's there with Hunter at this match, but when he goes away, by the next time we see Hunter Hearst Helmsley, he's got somebody new by his side who's going to become massively important for the Attitude Era, for Degeneration X, and for the Hall of Fame. And would you like to hazard a guess as to who that's going to be?
Stephanie McMahon? No, it's China, everybody. It's China.
It is Jody
Mr.
Lawler, yes.
Mr. Hughes is almost like the catalyst of like getting away from Hunter Hearst Helmsley into Triple H, and it's
Yes.
hilarious.
I don't know if they meant it to work out that like it did,
No,
but
I
you're
think they
right.
meant to have him have Mr. Hughes, and then
He got
then they
sick.
the story is that he went to Vince and was like, hey, what if my heater was no one can touch her? It's going to be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and boy, man, China makes yeah, I mean, like you're talking about China as one of the catalysts for the Attitude Era, absolutely, because you'd never seen anything like her before. I mean, she was just, and I get it when she comes in. Let's be honest, there's no doubt in anybody's mind that she's on the juice and a lot of it. That I think that's indisputable. But at the same time, you had never seen a female wrestler like China.
She wins the Intercontinental Championship, you
Yes.
guys.
Yes, she eliminates. Doesn't she eliminate Mark Henry from the Royal Rumble at some
Yeah,
point?
she
I
has
mean,
like she has multiple eliminations in the Royal Rumble, I believe.
yeah, I mean, when she wins the women's championship at one of the WrestleManias coming up, people are like disappointed because like it's fucking throwing Ivory around like a rag doll. There's no doubt she was going to win that thing, but
It's funny because like I think she might have had one decent women's title run where like they actually gave her a good story with a good opponent, but her world title runs were not good. Her best stuff was as the men versus women match or being physically involved as a second.
well, it's just like it's one of those situations where it's like, who do you credibly use to get the belt off of her? Because they're not running multi-person matches quite yet. That's not
Well,
a thing, and that's the only way to get the belt off of her.
and the women's roster really doesn't have
Oh
anybody
God, no,
like they do
no.
now.
No. Yeah, I mean, we're still a few years away from Trish and Lita and people who, like Trish versus China, when Trish was in her prime, that would have been a fun match to watch, that sort of thing. But we really don't get that. And it's okay because China serves a very important purpose when we get to there. But that's coming up next.
Like the
That is
the
not
dream
here.
match, the dream match for China would have been Beth Phoenix.
Yes. or now Rhea Ripley, or Jade Cargill.
Rhea,
There's people she could
Naya,
work with now. Yeah, I mean, powerhouse women. Even Charlotte now could have
Bailey.
given China a good fight. But in any case, we get back to this match. Goldust comes down. He's very over as a babyface. This whole transition. Goldust has been a heel his entire career. He comes out as a face. He's got a good response. It's a pretty good match. It's a bit slow. Um, the ref gives the boys a ton of leeway. There's lots of interference down the stretch. Goldust is going to take advantage of a distracted ref to slam the Intercontinental Championship belt into Triple H's face. But Mr. Hughes, he's going to pay dividends at least for a little while. Is going to save Hunter by pulling him from the ring. Hunter then takes advantage of a distracted Goldust by hitting with a clothesline and the pedigree, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley retains the Intercontinental Championship. So again, we're still not quite. He's still Hunter Hearst Helmsley at this point, not Triple H, but we're getting awfully close to him being Triple H at this point. And that's still the situation here. It's like you said earlier, this roster is stacked. It's very deep. It's got a lot of talent. It's got a lot more talent than it used to have. Um, but we're still a gimmick or two away from where they need to be. And Hunter Hearst Helmsley is one of the best examples. He's that whole blue blood sort of thing is starting to strip away a little bit, but he's still got that air of pompous bullshit going on. This match is a good example of that. But yeah, Hunter retains the championship here through nefarious means. Shout out to that show. Um,
We'll have another one of these days.
I'm sure. I look forward to it. But what do you think of this match with Hunter retaining the championship by beating Goldust?
I think you can't go wrong with Hunter and Dustin, especially when they've been given, a lot of leeway to do what they wanted to do in this match. It's really fun creatively, and like you said, you can see the mannerisms starting to change. Like it's not so uber sophisticated, the nuances of Hunter Hearst Helmsley anymore. It's you know that Mr. Hughes being around is a big change, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's fun to see Gold Dust like that too, because it get a little foreshadowing. Like him and Booker is like my favorite time with him in
Yeah.
WWE, and
Yeah.
that's he's got to go away and come back for that. I think still that's like
Yeah.
2000 ish. But no, just a really good match on this card.
Yeah. And like you're saying, I mean, some of like Hunter's getting away from the whole polo persona and starting to feel more rugby. At this point in time, I mean that's the best analogy I can come up with.
That's
But
pretty good. That's
yeah,
pretty good.
he's not wearing the polo outfits anymore. He looks more like he's not quite Triple H, but he's moving in that direction. This match is kind of just another step on that evolution of where we're going to go. So a solid match. I like the
Huh.
fact that the ref just let them
Ev-
get away with a lot of shit.
evolution of where we're gonna go. Look at
You don't
you,
almost think I watch wrestling or something like that. I mean,
you
it's
son of a biscuit. Your Honor, I object.
this one's I'm going to sustain this one, Mister Tunney. This guy, he's leading his witness. It's his witness. He's still
He's
leading him. So.
he's leading a horse to water, Your Honor.
All right. Farouk with the Nation of Domination takes on Ahmed Johnson, uh, which we talked about the background for this. This has been a long time coming ever since Farouk took out Ahmed and damaged his kidney. And really, kind of that whole kidney injury that Ahmed sustained really kind of submarines because he was doing pretty well. He's never the same after that injury, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah, he sabotaged himself a little bit, but this had a lot to do with it. This match, um, it's an okay match, I thought, but it resolves very little in the grand scheme of this whole thing. They do a good job as far as like playing into Ahmed's vulnerability as Farouk targets that damaged kidney. The guys both attack each other with foreign objects. The ref the ref lets that go. So we got a really liberal group of referees here on this event. He lets that go though until the Nation of Domination gets involved, and this causes a disqualification. Ahmed's going to get the last laugh as he hits one of the Nation members, I don't remember who, with the Pearl River plunge through a table. So nothing really gets resolved here. You get Farouk getting disqualified because these guys are doing everything they can to get themselves disqualified. The ref doesn't go for it, but then we get multiple people involved, and that's can't cross that line. You hit him in the head with a chair, that's okay. You hit him in the nuts with a chair, that's okay. It's 3-on-1. You're out of here. Disqualification.
The chair shot is okay. Dave, by the way.
The chair shot is okay, even in matches or for
Better
broadcasting
than okay. Yeah, better than okay. You know what I miss is we are the nation of
of
domination.
domination.
The nation. Oh, it's such a great, powerful, like it just like it announces their presence, which is so dominant,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
funny, like you mentioned it, but like at the Royal Rumble 1998, a year from now, we're going to hear that like multiple times. That song comes on so much, you're like, I'm sick of this already. But like you're saying here, it's really powerful in 1997 and it carries a lot of weight. And we're not to the point yet where the factions have really taken over. That's later on in the Attitude Era. But this is one of the really more dominant early factions paving the way for the Attitude Era.
Do you believe the telephone gossip game that Ahmed's injury from Ron was a receipt?
Um, I could see where Ahmed would have pissed a guy like Ron Simmons off enough that it could have been. I hope not, because that's a terrible injury that he sustained. Um, if that really was a receipt, that kind of sucks. But yeah,
I don't know. From what I've heard, I don't know. I'm just saying what I've heard. And
it's kind of
Ahmed
like the
Johnson,
Hogan Macho
uh,
Man WrestleMania 9
well,
thing, right?
no, I don't know about that. This is more of like Ahmed Johnson deserved everything he got because he was horrible. Is what I heard.
He was not a good person. Well, not a good coworker. We'll put it that way. I don't know anything about him personally, but
Right.
um, yeah, if he got a receipt for something, he probably did something to deserve it.
And I'm
You would
not
hope. You would
judging.
hope not.
I'm
You would
I'm
hope
not
not. But
judging. I'm not saying this is for certain. I'm just saying this is what I've heard.
yeah, I I don't know, man. I think there's certainly some credibility to that because of just like you're saying, the kind of guy that Ahmed was. He ruffled the wrong feathers. Ron Simmons has always been kind of a team player. That's why he's been around forever. That's why he works so well with a guy like Bradshaw. That's why he's the first African American world heavyweight champion. Because Ron
There you
Simmons
go.
was, yeah, exactly. Damn. All right. We talked about this match earlier. Not a whole lot of build to this whole situation with Vader and Undertaker. But I got to say, this is a really good match with two of the best big men in history going at it. It's Paul Bearer's, his emergence in this match is going to be what changes everything because Undertaker he's going to take the time to leap onto Vader as Vader's laid out in this whole thing and he's out on the ring barrier when this whole thing happens. And Vader's going to move, and Undertaker crashes chest first into the barrier. Then Paul Bearer is going to take advantage of this situation as he cracks Undertaker in the back of his head with the urn. So Paul Bearer still got the urn at this point. From there, Vader's going to hit a Vader bomb to get a victory. As Undertaker's terrible record at the Rumble continues, I don't even know what Undertaker's record is at the Rumble, but all I know is that this is going to continue like the next year. If you think back to Undertaker at the Royal Rumble, so like I'm trying to remember this thing. I'm like, okay, so at 92, and let's go back and think about this because we've done so many of these events. I remember. So at 92, he gets eliminated in the Royal Rumble match, one of the greatest Rumble matches of all time. In 93, he's going to win until your favorite, the Giant Gonzalez, comes out and wipes him out and takes him out of that whole situation. At Royal Rumble 94 is the infamous casket match with Yokozuna, where half the locker room combines to gang up and shove him in the casket. Um, I don't even know what happens at 95. We're Undertaker, what he does at 95 or in 96. Go ahead.
So one Royal Rumble win, 2007.
Yeah. So
Uh,
we're a
one
ways away
runner,
from that.
one runner up, 2003. Um, and then he also competed in non-Royal Rumble matches on some Royal Rumble pay-per-view cards. According to comprehensive tracking of all matches, including dark matches at these events, there was no dark matches with the Undertaker, or,
No.
or you could say they were all dark matches. His overall win-loss record across Royal Rumble pay-per-views is 5-12.
Like I said,
For someone who was 21-0 at WrestleMania at one point.
And that's funny is like you look at these things and like Undertaker's one of the most iconic WrestleMania competitors ever, no doubt about it, with the streak and all that sort of probably a better win loss percentage than anybody at
But 12
WrestleMania
times
history.
he lost before he won 21 times at
Yeah,
WrestleMania.
5 and 12 at the Rumble, and just some weird like you look at this match here at the Royal Rumble 1997. He loses to Vader. The next year is going to be the infamous casket match. His record in casket matches can't be that great either. He loses to Shawn in a match that derails Shawn's career for 4 years. That's coming up next year. But just yeah, 5 and 12 at the Rumble for one of the greatest performers of all time is shocking. But it's and with Undertaker, it's not like he ever loses in a manner that is fair or even handed. It's always some bullshit that's going on and that sort of thing. So this is another one. I mean, for everything that Vader has gone through in the past few months, the shit with Shawn, getting pulled out of the program with Shawn for Survivor Series, where Vader would have been the champion heading into this event. For him to actually get a win over the Undertaker is kind of a cool moment for Vader.
12-4 in casket matches.
Undertaker's 12 and 4 in casket matches. Okay,
Yeah.
well there you go. That's much better. Never mind. So okay, it's just like it's like the
Thank
loss.
you,
The
Grok.
losses, huh?
Thank you,
Thank you,
AI Grok.
yeah. The losses are the ones that really stand out for him, especially like Yokozuna and Shawn, and that sort of thing. So, but
Gold
what do you think
Dust.
that?
Gold Dust in Your House 8, 1996. He lost, and then Randy Orton and Bob Orton at No Mercy 2005.
Well, that makes sense. But your thoughts on Vader getting this win over Undertaker at this event?
Why? Like Vader is not long for WWE, right?
No,
Like he
he's
is
not.
like this. I don't even is he. He's not on WrestleMania, right?
13? I don't remember. I
Well,
think
we'll get
maybe he
there. We'll
is.
get there next. We'll get there on
We'll
the
get
next
there.
edition of the Big Five.
We will get there next.
Or is there a no? There's no
No,
sideways.
it's
I mean,
13 is WrestleMania
yeah,
13 is next. Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. Why would they give given the Vader the win here? I think this may have been more for Paul Bearer and to further the whole rift between Paul
sure.
Bearer and
Use
Undertaker.
the urn.
Yeah, use the urn. We're gonna get to the whole Kane situation in a few months, that sort of thing. But um, I don't know. I mean, I was kind of glad to see Vader get a win here. What do you think of the match? I mean, the outcome notwithstanding, it's a pretty good match between these two big guys, didn't you think?
I mean, anytime Undertaker's in the ring, and then you got a guy like Vader who knows he's in the ring with the Undertaker, right? Like, there's a big difference between Vader trying to test some young guy or somebody he doesn't like. I'm sure he still laid it in, and I'm sure Undertaker was still light as a feather, from what I've seen. But yeah, I mean, it's solid. And then the Paul Bearer presence, you using the urn and everything else, it's smart. I'm trying to see right now. I don't know. Vader is not on WrestleMania.
Okay. Like you said, we're gonna get there pretty soon. So
Oh, yeah, he is.
he is.
Owen Hart
Like
and the
us.
British Bulldog versus Mankind and Vader for the tag
Okay.
titles.
Okay. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that next time. But I was just thinking, from coming from working with Sean to then going to working with Taker had to be awesome for Vader because he was working with a guy like Mark Calloway, who, like you're saying, Vader could lay it in, and Mark's not going to bitch about Vader, a guy like Vader being too stiff, that sort of thing. Because Mark Calloway is going to be like, sure, bring it on. I can handle anything you want to throw at me. And whereas Sean is so, I'm not going to say dainty or anything like that, but certainly more fragile than a guy like Mark Calloway is. And Mark's gonna be like, I don't give a fuck what you do. Bring it on. I can handle all that stuff. So that had to be a really cool moment and a relief for Vader to be able to work with a big guy like Undertaker.
No, I think the thing with Mark is like, if you're gonna hit me, I'm gonna hit you. Whereas Sean is like, I'm not gonna do that because like I don't want you to come after me backstage.
Yeah,
Taker's
Sean's
like,
like,
you want to come after me backstage? Yeah, go for it, dude.
Sean's gonna be like, if you're gonna hit me, I'm gonna bitch to Vince
I'm gonna
about you.
tell. Yeah, but
I'm
and
gonna
at the same time, that's fine. There's no reason for Vader to be peppering the top fucking guys either, right? So let's
right.
let's spin that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't work too stiff with the
And I don't
with
think
the
he did
champion.
though. And I don't think he did either. I think he enjoyed working with both of them.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in the SummerSlam match that said he works too stiff. I
Mm-mm.
mean, Vader in general is going to be stiff because of how big he is. It just kind
No,
of
but I
goes
seen with him and Sean, him being more delicate than usual.
delicate flower. That's Vader for you
Now I
right
don't
there.
see him being in the right spot that Sean wants him to be in, though. But
Right.
there,
There's a few
nevertheless,
a few
there's a
of those
difference
spots that
there.
he just
Yeah.
didn't miss. All right. Uh, you mentioned it earlier. There's a six-man tag team match here where you've got the AAA guys in this whole situation. Fuerza Guerrero, heavy metal, heavy metal, and Jerry Estrada taking on Pero Aguayo, Kennick, and Hector Garza. So there's a lot of lineage in this match, right, Tony? I mean, we got Guerreros, we got Estradas, we got Aguayo, we got Garzas. This is like a who's who of AAA and family lineage here. Maybe not the guys you're most familiar with. Um, I thought, for all the AAA guys to get them in here to get in front of the San Antonio fans, it's a decent match from these AAA guys. Um, the problem is Vince, because Vince can't keep the names of anybody straight, and it gets comical, but it's not at the same time. But yeah, Vince is all over the place with this fucking match. It's like, come on, man, just shut up.
I'm
You're. Go ahead.
I'm so glad you brought that up because the next thing that needs to happen is Vince not being on commentary anymore.
We're getting there. We are very close to that,
I
Tony.
know
We
we
are.
are. And we've talked about all these things. The pieces getting moved to where they need to be, the Rubik's Cube getting completed. And one of those major things to happen is to bring Vincent Kennedy McMahon out from behind the announce table and into the back.
And by the time we get to the end of 1997, he's very much not at the announce table, and
Survivor Series.
is very much in a completely different role, and it changes everything. I mean, it really changes everything on that night. That's coming up in a few episodes. Rob, we have not forgotten you. You'll be here for Survivor Series
Who?
97.
Who?
Some guy named Winnie the Pooh.
I
That
heard
sort
he's
of
kind of
thing.
smart.
He is kind of a genius. I mean, he
Kind
can
of a
get away with
genius.
not wearing any pants on broadcast. So
Son of a bitch.
Uh, Kanek is going to hit heavy metal with a military press slam, which leads to Aguayo hitting a pretty, uh, actually, it's a kind of a weak version of the coup de grace. Uh, there's a lot of stuff. There's Aguayo that's going to drop a pretty weak looking elbow on heavy metal. But Aguayo is older than Bob Backlund here, apparently. So that's my note here. I'm not sure where I came up with that, but he's older than Bob Backlund, who's like 145 years old by now. But he's going to secure the win for the team. It's an okay match. I give Paraguayo, I'll give him some. You got to give him a passing score because he is kind of up there in age. If he is around Backlund's age, then okay. But I think this is just a good showcase for the AAA guys to come in here, get a few moves in front of the home fans, do a few things, and it is what it is. It was the match was designed for a certain purpose. I think they got it over. Other than Vince fucking up the names repeatedly and that sort of thing, it was a fine match, fun. It was okay. Nothing spectacular.
It was different.
Yeah.
It was different than everything else you saw that night. Heavy Metal pulling double duty, by the way. He was on one of the dark matches, but yeah, I mean, good showcase for AAA, and it just goes to show, folks, that like companies have been working together for decades, for a century.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you actually think that, this whole WWE AAA thing is new, no. That's not the situation at all. So they've been working together for a long time, and this is a good example of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. WWE's had the NXT mentality with just like minor league organizations and not having their own, and they just decided one day, why don't we just start our own? And it's been uber successful.
Yeah.
In addition to the partnerships they've have now still with TNA and AAA, and you know I wish they'd have a better Japan relationship somewhere that was more meaningful, but what can you do?
Well, yeah. I mean, AEW's got their whole thing with NJPW. I'd love to see WWE do more. I'm with you. They
Well,
need. I mean,
New
there's been
Japan ain't
rumors for years about.
New Japan ain't that great anyway right now. I'd
No,
rather see them be like hook up with Noah again or something because they've done stuff in the past with them.
right. And we've had what rumors for years now about NXT Japan or some Japan like they had NXT UK. But I don't think they're looking to globalize NXT anymore. I think they're happy with them being the feeder system and developing stars and sending them to WrestleMania like they just did this year. The three of the biggest people in WrestleMania this past year, straight from NXT. So if it
Ding.
ain't broke, why fix it?
Ding, ding, ding.
I hear you. Let's get into the Rumble match itself, which the 1997 Royal Rumble match, it's a big one. What's up?
No, we'll get there. I'm laughing just because I'm thinking about what I'm going to eventually say.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued. Interesting stuff about this Royal Rumble. Half of the Rumble entrants are first timers, and I get it. There's a lot of the AAA guys are in this match, so obviously they're going to be first timers. But I mean, 4 of the 15 were from AAA. But I mean, there's 10 guys who are making their first Rumble appearance. And it's an interesting list, honey. I'll just read this off for you. Ahmed Johnson, Farouk. Well, that makes sense. Flash Funk, Too Cold Scorpio, also. Goldust. I'm like, Goldust hasn't been in a match yet. Jesse James, the Road Dogg. Mankind. Mark Merrow. Phineas Godwin. The fake Razor, whoever the fake Razor Ramon is. I forget. Who is the fake Razor at this point? Is it Jerry? It's not Jerry Lynn, is it? It's somebody else. I forget who it is. And The Rock. And, you know, if you look at Road Dogg, Mankind, and Rock, though we talked about guys who were just a gimmick change away from being megastars, there's 3 of them right there, right? Road Dogg is going to turn into, what's up, Tony? Who's fake Razor at this point?
Rick Bognar.
Oh, yeah, Rick Bognar. I don't know who the hell that is. Doesn't matter. But Mankind and The Rock are going to evolve into huge. Who is this? Yeah, dude, your claim to fame is that you were the fake Razor Ramon. I don't know.
His most famous quote is, "Even though I was fake razor, I use real razors to shave."
You know, I'm going
That's
to
just
give
a
him
bad.
credit.
That's a bad joke I just made up, actually.
I'm going to give him credit for that. Oh, you just made that up? Okay.
Yeah, it's a bad joke I just made up.
I was going to say I'll give him credit for that one. That's clever
Thank you.
enough to be
I'll take it.
yeah, take it, man, take it. But yeah, you got 1/3 of the field is brand new to the event, which is good. And like we said, you got Road Dogg, Mankind, and The Rock, who are just a gimmick change away from being megastars. Another interesting thing is that this Rumble event, they broadcast that they were going to show the whole Rumble event for free on the Raw after the Royal Rumble. And it was like, hey, this will be great. You know, I think the thought was, remember the first Rumble event in 1988 was on USA and it drew big numbers, you know, and that's why they started to think, hey, maybe there's something to this thing. So they're like with the USA Network, they're like, hey, let's show the Rumble on USA the night after the Rumble and we'll get a big rating. And it seemed great. And then the WWE's pay-per-view partner said, fuck you. You know, we've got exclusivity here. You're not going to, because if you do that, half of our audience is not going to buy this event because they know they're going to watch it the next night on Raw. So they showed some event from the Sky Dome in Toronto instead. And, you know, of course, we all know about the Sky Dome from WrestleMania 6. I thought that's very interesting that WWE was like, hey, let's do something cool for our fans. And the pay-per-view partners were like, are you guys out of your fucking mind? You're going to cut our nuts off in our revenue so you can show it for free the next night? You know, if they probably said, hey, we're going to show it a month from now, they'd be like, okay, that's cool. But if you're going to show it the next night, no one's going to buy that shit. You're already having shitty buy rates.
Yeah, that's not happening.
It's not going to work for us, brother. That's all I got to say.
It's not going to work for me, brother.
Yeah, it's not going to work for me at all, brother. All right. Let's get into this Royal Rumble match. And Tunney, just stop me whenever you go along because there's a lot of shit that happens in this event as we move along. Royal Rumble 1997. Number 1 into the ring is one of your absolute favorites, Crush. He's like, we're still getting a lot of guys doing double duty in this match. You know, we talked about it earlier. Ahmed Johnson comes in at number 2. Number 3 is Fake Razor. We just talked about Fake Razor. He might use
Bognar.
Rick Bognar. Now, Rick, he might use real razors, but it's not going to help him avoid getting eliminated by Ahmed very quickly in this match. So Ahmed takes 17 seconds. Thanks for coming, Fake Razor. We'll see you later. Farouk is going to, as this is all going up, Farouk shows up on the rampway and in a brilliant maneuver, This is a brilliant maneuver by Ahmed Johnson, Tony. I got to say, one of the best moves in Royal Rumble history. Brilliant maneuver. Ahmed leaps over the top rope to get to Farouk, eliminating himself in the process. Brilliant. Just fucking. It's like,
I'm
okay.
so hoping he would eliminate Crush.
I was too, but that doesn't happen. Phineas Godwin comes in at number 4. And interesting thing at number 5, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And what I noticed at this point as he comes in at number 5 is that the clock has not been working. it's the clock has not been working since Fake Razor got in the match, so no one knows what's really going on or when people are coming in. But we do know that Stone Cold Steve Austin comes in at number 5. Pretty good reaction for this guy. There's stuff building for Stone Cold, as you can tell. Austin's entrance becomes a bit anticlimactic because of this, because it's like, well, the clock's not running. You don't know when the people are coming. The next you know, they're Stone Cold. This should be a much bigger moment than it is, because this is the guy who's going to win the Rumble eventually, as we're going to talk about, through very nefarious means, as we will discover. Extremely nefarious means. But Austin's entrance, I felt, was a bit anticlimactic because the clock's not running. So the crowd isn't counting down. No one knows what's going on. Do you agree with that? That this would have been more impactful had people been able to get in the countdown and then Austin?
Yeah. I mean, they're still the best, still the best video production out there, right? Quality, et
Sure.
cetera, et cetera. But they're not anywhere near where they're going to be, and soon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to become a much bigger event, like you're saying, very soon. So, but I mean, the whole countdown thing becomes such a big part of the Rumble, and they kind of get robbed of this whole thing here. But Stone Cold gets in. He's accidentally, I say accidentally, hits Crush with a flying clothesline as he and Crush try to double team Phineas. Phineas is then going to dump Crush over the top rope. Austin immediately hits Phineas with the stunner, bad mouths him, and flings his ass out of the match. And this becomes a very iconic thing because the clock starts working at this point. So it's almost like, did they fuck him over? And then the clock just kind of magically comes back on here. And this clock is going to become a big deal because from here we get some of the more iconic moments in Royal Rumble history, right? Because Bart Gunn comes in at number 6. Austin is then going to reverse an Irish whip attempt and flings Bart face first into the ropes. He then hits him with a clothesline to eliminate him. Austin then does some push-ups and does this iconic looking at his watch pose in one of the corners. So this is one of the most iconic moments in Rumble history, right? I mean, everybody talks about a few years ago where Brock ran through the first Royal Rumble 2020, right? Where Brock ran through all these people until Drew and Ricochet got in there. But this is where it all starts. Austin starts looking at the watch. He's doing all this sort of stuff. Jake Roberts comes in at number 7. The British Bulldog comes in at number 8. As Davey heads to the ring, Jake sets Austin up for the DDT, but Austin is going to reverse this, and he basically backdrops Jake out of the match. So Jake's out of here. So not only did Austin 316 say, I just whipped your ass at King of the Ring, Austin 316 says, I just eliminated your ass from the Royal Rumble, Jake. Thanks for coming. You thumped your Bible. Go drink some more Mad Dog in the back. You're done. So that's fun stuff. Who's number 9? Peroth, one of the, I think it's one of the AAA guys, right? Okay. At number 10 is the Sultan. At number 11 is, this is cool. I love the fact that you got this guy in at number 11, Mil Mascaras, one of the most iconic guys in luchador history, one of the most iconic luchadors in history, comes in at number 11. So he's got a Royal Rumble appearance here. Triple H comes in, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, let me get it correctly, comes in at number 12, pinky raised and everything. Bulldog is going to clothesline the Sultan out of the match at this point. Owen Hart comes in at number 13. At this point, the Bulldog is going to try to dump Stone Cold Steve Austin out of the match, but Owen is going to try to get rid of both of them, and he only succeeds in eliminating his brother-in-law, Davey Boy Smith. So, nice try, Owen. Doesn't work out. 14 is Goldust, so he's pulling double duty. At 15, Cybernetico. So we get another of the AAA guys into the match. So we're at the halfway point right now. So Tony, at the halfway point of the 97 Royal Rumble, not a whole lot is happening at this point, other than Austin is in there making a name for himself. Uh, a lot of the big names haven't hit the ring yet. You're kind of waiting for the whole Bret Hart situation to evolve. Your thoughts about it here at the halfway point of the Rumble?
Yeah, they're kind of doing the whole AAA thing after the hot start for Austin, and when we get into the 20s, we're gonna start seeing coming hot and heavy. But yeah, Austin is on his way to double-digit eliminations tonight.
He's going to set a record for eliminations from a Rumble winner in this match. So that's, like you said, that's a big. He's going to get like double digits eliminations, and he's actually going to win 10. Yeah, I know. Like Roman's got the record, but I don't think he won. No, he didn't win that year. That was the year Batista
No,
won. Roman set the
yeah,
record, but
yeah.
Batista won.
Kane has a bunch of years that he
Yeah,
set a big number up, and he never won. So
right, right. 16 is Mark Merrow. He comes in. Um, we got some of the AAA action. Peroth is going to clothesline Cybernetico out of the Rumble. Neil Mascaris then dumps Peroth out of over the top rope. Mascaris then leaps off the top rope to the ring floor for an axe handle on Peroth. Of course, he eliminates himself in the process. So that's two
que
guys.
estúpido, que estúpido.
So that's two guys who have eliminated themselves from this match. And you would, I mean, it's one thing for Ahmed to do it, but Neil Mascaris, one of the most iconic, one of the most legendary performers in luchador history. Now, obviously,
Yeah,
he doesn't do a lot of rumbles. I mean,
yeah.
is this
Well, I
equivalent to
mean,
Macho Man
it's
going
not
for
a
the elbow on
it's not a
Yoko in
difficult
'93?
it's not a difficult concept to grasp, Jerry. You see
Yeah,
that
don't.
cemetery over there? People are dying to get in.
Yeah, don't leap from the top rope. Don't go over the top rope to the floor, and
What?
you'll be okay.
Yeah, imagine it's like early to mid '90s WCW. If you
Yeah,
throw your opponent over the top rope, it's a DQ.
yeah. Hey,
Oh
hey,
wait,
Randy.
no
There's
wait,
no,
this is
there's
the opposite. This is the opposite.
Randy.
Sorry.
There's no pinfalls in the Royal Rumble. What do you? Why are you hitting the elbow on Yokozuna, Randy? Why are we doing this?
Who goes for the pin in a Royal Rumble? What are we doing here?
uh, well, exactly. Goldust is going to clothesline Hunter Hearst Helmsley out of the match, so there's a little bit of revenge for Goldust from what happened earlier. At number 17 is the Latin Lover.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
yeah, exactly, the Latin Lover. Okay,
Victor Manuel Resendez Ruiz.
that's right. It's a lot easier to say Latin Lover. I think that's probably why they went with that. So, Owen is going to clothesline Goldust in the back of the head to eliminate him. At number 18 is Farouk. He's back in the match, or he's coming into the match after causing Ahmed to eliminate himself earlier. Farouk officially gets in the match. The Latin Lover is going to rush at Farouk, who is going to duck under and backdrop the Latin Lover out of the match. Thanks for coming, Latin Lover. We'll see you later. Ahmed Johnson then returns to the ring at this point with his 2x4. No Hacksaw Jim Duggan to be found. Starts beating the holy hell out of Farouk. In his haste to escape, Farouk eliminates himself. So there's number three, third guy who's going to eliminate himself. Ahmed stalks the nation with the 2x4. Mark Merrow and Owen are locked up with
Did
each
we
other.
did we not send out a memo for the rules this year?
I guess not,
Oh,
because
I
that's three
okay.
guys.
The email. It looks like the email didn't send. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Merrow and Austin are locked up with each other. Austin's going to, or excuse me, Merrow and Owen are locked up with each other. Austin is going to sneak up, dumps both guys out of the ring, leaving Stone Cold all alone in the ring at this point in time. So here we are, 18 guys in the match. Austin's the only one left standing. So it's looking good for the Rattlesnake at this point in time. He's not quite the Rattlesnake yet, but he's still looking good here. Number 19 is a very familiar foe for Steve Austin. It's Savio Vega.
By God, it's Quang.
K Wang. K Wang's back.
By God, it's K Wang. Stay away from the Dippin' Dots.
Stay away from the Wang. I mean the K Wang. So yeah. Stay away from the Wanger.
Is that Patrick O'Dowd witnessing a Wang? Yeah, K
Yeah.
Wang.
Hey, Wang, what's with the photos? It's a parking lot. Come on, let's get going here.
Hashtag thank you, Savio Vega.
Yeah, thank you, Savio. Austin survives an onslaught by Vega, including getting hit with the spinning heel kick. Austin is going to hit Vega with a stun gun type of maneuver, and Austin then clotheslines Savio Vega out of the match. Savio is now gone from this whole situation. He's gone from the Royal Battle, or excuse me, the Royal Rumble. Number 20 is Jesse James, who will soon be known as the Road Dog. Austin tosses the Road Dog over the top. Um, he's gonna Jesse James is gonna hang on only to take a back elbow to the face, and he's eliminated. And then at number 21 is one of the again this Royal Rumble match. It may not be the greatest of all time, but there are some really iconic moments in this Royal Rumble match. And at number 21 is one of them when Bret Hart hits the ring and Austin's react. This is the famous reaction that Austin has where Bret comes out. He's all holding his head like, fuck, I've been through 20 guys and this motherfucker is coming out at number 21. And man, and then as these guys are going at it, one of the funniest fucking moments in the Royal Rumble at number 22, Jerry Lawler gets up from commentary and gets in here. Bret has locked Steve Austin in the sharpshooter in the early moments of this thing. So Bret is going to break the sharpshooter, and he's got Austin in, and he slugs Jerry over the top rope with a huge uppercut. So there you go, Jerry Lawler. I love this whole sequence so well because Jerry Lawler obviously still issues with Bret Hart. I don't think that ever really goes away. He's going to jump into the ring. Bret's got Austin in the sharpshooter. He says, fuck that. Let me slug your ass out of here. So Jerry Lawler, thanks for playing. We'll see you later.
Another guy who didn't read the rules of the Royal Rumble, Bret Hart's putting Steve Austin in a sharpshooter. I get we're foreshadowing historic moments, but.
Yeah. He's not, even if he taps out, it doesn't matter, Bret, but whatever.
Great spot, though. Great spot.
Oh, it's all their interaction, those two guys clashing.
Yeah.
At the,
I'm joking, by the way. A great spot.
No, it was an awesome spot. I get what, but I mean, it was just, it's so cool to watch those guys go at it. Cause I mean, and it's just from Survivor Series 96, the match that we talked about, to this moment in Rumble 97, to everything that happens after the Rumble that leads to WrestleMania 13. It's one of my top 5 favorite rivalries of all time. I got to say, Austin and Bret is right up there as one of my favorite rivalries ever. And you get this.
It's gold, Jerry. It's gold.
In the
words of Banyan, it's gold, Jerry. It's gold.
It is. At number 23 is Fake Diesel. Now we know who this is. Glenn Jacobs, also known as Kane, also known as Isaac Yankem DDS. He's another guy. He's a gimmick change away from being a megastar. He's going to play a huge role in things as we move forward in everything. So Fake Diesel's in at 23. Number 24, crazy and middle-aged Terry Funk. He's the Funkster's in here.
Be a big part of what happens too moving forward.
Yeah, like for the Terry Attitude Era.
This run for Terry Funk in WWE is awesome, by the way. Like when he get Chainsaw Charlie and everything. I mean, come on.
Speaking of guys who are going to be big in the Attitude Era, number 25 is Rocky Maivia. And I love he gets in, he immediately goes after Austin. So I mean, right there, a sign of things to come. He knows. It's like you almost think he knows. And I mean, go a year from now at Royal Rumble 98, who are the last 2 guys in the match? The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So this is just the beginning of so much greatness that is coming down the line. It's just magnificent. And you get to see enough of it here that you go, this is one of those things you look at it in hindsight. As it's happening in 97, you don't really realize what you're watching. You look back at it in hindsight, oh yeah. You can see so much of the great stuff that's happened. Maivia going right after Austin in this match is a sign of that. Number 26 is Mankind. So, I mean, we've got so much.
Here comes the glue.
Yeah, the glue that keeps it all together is exactly Mick Foley. Number 27 is Flash Funk. Number 28 is the man known as Vader. He comes in at 28. Number 29 is Henry Godwin. And the last man in the 1997 Royal Rumble, The Undertaker. So, from what happened earlier, now we got, so all 30 have been in here at this point, Tunney. And like you said, from 20 to 30, huge names coming in the Rumble. We got Bret Hart. He's still in the match. We've got Fake Diesel, Glenn Jacobs. He's still in the match. Rocky Maivia. He's still in the match. Mankind. Still in the match. Vader, Undertaker. That's
8 Hall of Famers.
Those are big, meaty men slapping meat, and a lot of them in there. Not just big, meaty men, but some of the most iconic names in the history of
8
the WWE. I mean, it's
8 Hall of Famers, and 9 with Austin.
Yeah, it's a magnificent I mean, we talked so much about the 92 Royal Rumble, and I'm not going to suggest that this Royal Rumble match is as good as 92. But when you're starting to look at firepower and Hall of Fame resumes and credentials, it's getting pretty close. When you start looking at who's in this match,
It's just going to show and proving my point of like the roster's stacked right now. It's
it
just
really
about
is.
sliding the pieces exactly where they go.
That's right, like Tetris. Let me spin this long piece so it fits in perfectly, and then we're off and running. And you got a nice cascade of stuff. So,
That's what
um,
she said.
slide this long piece right in here.
And then we get a cascade. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, I like it. I like it, Tuddy. I love it. Vader's going to catch Flash Funk, and he eliminates him with a fall away slam over the top rope. Undertaker's then going to grab Henry Godwin by the neck and heaves him out of the ring. And another sign, and stop me whenever you want, jump in here, Tony. I'm just running
You're
through
good.
these things. And
Keep going.
in another sign of things to come, Mankind is going to catch Rocky coming off the second rope with the mandible claw. And he muscles the future Rock over the top rope and out of the match. So we got a lot of foreshadowing going on with Mankind and the Rock there. Mankind and then Terry Funk, we talked about these two guys who are going to win the tag titles at WrestleMania 14 in that dumpster match or the whatever the
Yep, exactly.
it is a dumpster match, yeah. So Mankind and Terry Funk, they have a really good go at it on the ring apron before Mankind is able to suplex Terry Funk out of the match, eliminating him. Um, as Mankind recovers, he's standing on the ring apron, which is never a good idea. And Undertaker hits him with a huge boot to eliminate him. So we still got Undertaker and Mankind going at it. So there's just some awesome stuff happening. This sets off the wild closing sequence of this match. And I mean, right now, we're about to get to some craziness. Mankind and Terry Funk are going to brawl at ringside, which is funny. These guys are going to be tag team partners not so long. They brawl at ringside. Mankind tries to get back in the ring. Both refs restrain him as this is going on. Brett is going to grab Austin from behind, heaves him out of the ring. So Stone Cold Steve Austin's eliminated by Bret the Hitman Hart, right? Not exactly, because the refs never see it. So Austin's going to get back in, dumps Vader out of the ring, and Undertaker as they brawl with. So Vader and Undertaker are brawling with each other. The continuation of the match earlier. Austin dumps both of those guys out of the ring. Brett is then going to get rid of Fake Diesel. But then Austin is going to sneak up on Brett, toss him out, and Stone Cold Steve Austin is declared the winner of the 1997 Royal Rumble. An irate hitman goes ballistic on the refs and on Vince McMahon at the end of this whole thing for good reason. There's a lot of rumors about the finish of this match and or about this match in general. In that one of the urban legends is that Bret Hart was supposed to win this match and he was going to go on and they were going to set up for the rematch with Shawn at WrestleMania 13. A lot of things are going to go wrong on the way there. One of them, the rumor is that Vince Russo got on like one of the radio shows, I think it was like Live Wire or some shit like that, and started proclaiming that Bret was going to win. And I'm trying to remember. So let me look at it. So yeah, he was his alter ego, Vic Venom, on an episode of Live Wire, predicted that Hart would win the Rumble match. So Vince is like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't give away the real winner. Now when you watch like the countdowns to these events, we'll watch a countdown to Backlash tomorrow. Big E and Peter Rosenberg and all these guys will predict winners. Sometimes they get them right and sometimes they get them wrong. But back in 97, Vince didn't want anybody giving away the actual people who are going to win the match. So when Russo or Venom or whatever the fuck you want to call him gives away the winner, they come up with this wonky ass finish. And Bret doesn't win the match. Austin is declared the winner. All sorts of problems with this. And we will talk about, I guess, well, let me ask you this right now. Do you want to talk about the aftermath of this on this episode, or do you want to talk it as to the lead into WrestleMania 13? I'm thinking it makes more sense here because the whole fallout of the Rumble is so important as to what happens. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But your thoughts on the end of this match? Austin wins the Royal Rumble under very dubious circumstances. Tuddy's all choked up about it. Just left a bad taste in his mouth, guys. I mean, he's just upset. give me your thoughts, Tony. The end of this match, I thought this Royal Rumble match was one of the better ones, probably the best one that we've had since 1992. Uh, and Steve Austin wins his first Royal Rumble.
What a sorry, I'm just losing it over here. What a super fun finish, by the way. And I had forgotten about this finish. And when I remembered it, Roger Clemens style, misremembering, it's so apropos that he doesn't win another Royal Rumble in the future that he should, and Vince wins a Royal Rumble, right? So they kind of balance out.
Well, he's going to win the next year. That one he
No, no, no.
wins.
I'm talking about the one where he doesn't win and
Oh
Vince
yeah, yeah.
comes back and wins.
Right,
It
right,
it,
right, right,
it
right,
this
right,
balances this out, right? And
right.
that's the
Gotcha,
kind of thought that
gotcha.
that was the thought that I was foreshadowing before we started. I'm saying, oh, I can't wait to say this. Um, it's so cool though, because it sets everything up, and that's the best thing about it. So I don't think so. I mean, and we're going to be more speculative than we ever have or ever will be here shortly. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's
Alls I know is that at the end of the day, Stone Cold Steve Austin was your winner, and it was a super cool kind of finish that you really didn't see in the Royal Rumble before.
yeah. No, I mean we've seen some weird stuff. Double like Brett and Lex Luger with the
Right.
double goes both guys hitting, but you had never seen something like this. And it's weird in like a match where we talk about three guys eliminate themselves because they don't know the rules or whatever the case is, and then you get the eventual winner who was actually officially should have been eliminated, but the refs never see it, and this whole thing. And then, as crazy as that finishes, the stuff that happens in the next couple weeks is even more wild as to how we get to the point where it's not Austin who gets the title shot, even though he wins the Rumble. All sorts of shit's going to happen to kind of circumvent that, including, I mean, just some crazy stuff happens in the aftermath. Between here and WrestleMania 13 is some of the wildest times in WWF history.
Well, and it's crazy you brought that up though, because I mentioned after we got off doing the last Big Five, from WrestleMania 12 to Survivor Series 96, Shawn Michaels held the belt for 231 days. There will not be another WWE champion that holds the world title for more than 200 plus days until JBL in 2004.
Yeah. And do you think is it because they have so much talent that they want to share the wealth and get the belt to as many? Because I mean,
Well,
how are
a
you going
lot
to
of it
hold
is
the belt?
competing with WCW
Yeah,
for a big portion of time, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Let's talk about the main event here, which is Shawn Michaels with Jose Lothario taking on Psycho Sid for the WWF Championship. This is the big payoff. This was supposed to be the whole.
Save me, Daredevil, save
Yeah,
me.
save me, Daredevil. I'm having a heart attack. Well, I guess Jose's got a stent or a pacemaker in for this match, I would hope, but
Don't
I don't
get too
know.
close to a magnet.
That's true. So this is the big payoff to this whole thing, where Shawn Michaels in his hometown of San Antonio, Texas, taking on Psycho Sid. I thought it's a good match, but this there's something, and I don't know if you caught this on the broadcast, but there's some fucking dude who's whistling during the whole match that you can hear on the broadcast, and this really ruined a lot of this. Who
I
is
turned it
this
down. I turned it
dude?
down.
I'm like, who is this motherfucker? Why do I hear? I mean,
Nowadays they could make it so you couldn't hear that.
right, but they couldn't do that here, and it's
No.
very distracting, and it's
Yeah, I'm
very loud.
surprised like they didn't send someone out to, you know,
Yeah, to beat the shit out of him, that would have been good. So, um,
remove said
yeah,
person peacefully.
remove forcefully.
Peace
Oh,
peacefully, Dave.
peacefully. I'm sorry.
Peacefully.
I was thinking forcefully.
No,
So,
no, peacefully.
got it. I'm with you. I'm with you. I feel you, bro. The crowd's electric for Shawn Michaels, obviously. This is his hometown. Alamo Dome goes absolutely crazy for Shawn. Uh, Sid has the match won after power bombing Shawn on the ring floor. And then he hits him with a huge choke slam in the ring. But of course, the ref has been knocked out. So we've got some of the chicanery that happened in the match at Madison Square Garden is reversed here. So the
If
ref's
I had a
knocked out.
nickel, if I had a nickel for every time.
Yeah. So Sean is able to kick out by the time the second ref runs to the ring to make the count. Sid abuses that second ref, and then Sean is going to take advantage of this situation by crushing a video camera into Sid's back. There's the big payback. And then his chest. Sid survives this, but can't survive sweet chin music. Shawn Michaels recaptures the WWF Championship. Um, and I mean, it all makes sense in the end, right, Tony? I mean, this makes sense. Sean recapturing the belt in San Antonio, setting off the weird, wild chain of events that we're about to get into, heading into WrestleMania 13. Your thoughts on Shawn Michaels recapturing the WWF Championship in a match that was really similar, but just the other side of the coin from the match in Survivor Series 1996?
which is fine. I mean, it's Royal Rumble. It's not WrestleMania, so I'm okay with that. Um, shit's about to get crazy, man. It's
It
about
really
to get
is.
crazy. I'm so happy we're here because this is like one of the last calms before like a 5 year storm, which is so it's an epic odyssey we're about to go on, right?
Yeah,
It's
it gets
it's
wild.
amazing.
It gets
Um,
wild, and it gets wild right after this. So
yeah, and some of the main people that we're talking about in this episode are nowhere to be found very shortly, but a lot of the main people are going to be big storytellers. So I don't know. It was a good match. It was fun. It was fun to see Sid at probably getting close to the end of his prime, or at least his prime usage.
yeah,
So
yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, this all this made sense. Sean recapturing the title in this fashion, in this location, was a big payoff for the fans, 61,000 who showed up at the Alamo Dome. Um, really did kind of signify that concerns about how strong WWE was may have been a little overstated. They're still able to pack them in and deliver a hell of a card. And like we said, you got so many of the pieces in the right place. Since Cage Match has blocked us, apparently, from what you're talking about, I'm not going to tell you to go there, Tony. We'll just make up our own shit. I'll go first for once. I'll go first because normally I defer to Cage Match and then you jump in there, but I'll go first. I'm going to give this a 7.75 out of 10. I thought really good undercard, really good rumble with a very controversial finish, and a solid main event. I mean, the roster's still a bit thin in a few places, which is why you got a lot of these guys running double duty. But it actually works here. Like other rumbles we've had, the guys pulling double duty didn't work out so well, but it works here. The AAA guys getting in the rumble took some spots away. But you say that, but it's like, well, did they? Because there weren't spots to fill. Because you're taking spots away. Well, who was going to fill those spots? All the guys were pulling double duty anyway. Um, it's a solid start to one of the. This is like when we talked earlier when we first got on here, and I said, "Is this the most important year in pro wrestling history?" 1997, maybe. But this is as good a start as you probably could have hoped for with the roster you have, with what they're facing down in Atlanta. And before we go any further, let's
let the dogs
Miss
out. Woo,
yeah,
woo, woo, woo.
Mrs. Attitude has come home, that sort of thing. But before we go any further, let me just say we have to acknowledge it here. Ted Turner this past week passed away. The guy who almost put Vince out of business. He was going to, hey Vince, I got into this wrestling business, and Vince like, that's great, Ted. I'm in the sports entertainment business. But if not for Ted Turner and what WCW did, we don't get here. We're still dealing with probably new generation shit for another couple years before Ted Turner forced Vince's hand. There's no disputing that. And Ted did a lot of stuff, CNN, cable news network, and doing all that sort of stuff. You cannot say enough about what Ted Turner did for so many aspects of the entertainment industry. Even if Ted thought he was in the wrestling business, nah, bro, you were in the sports entertainment business. You just didn't realize it, which is probably why WCW eventually loses. But um, before I get to your score on this thing, like I said, this is a great start to one of the most critical years in the history of professional wrestling, bar none. Your thoughts on Ted Turner, and then let me know what score you've got for Royal Rumble '97.
I would say Ted Turner had an effect on wrestling even before um, decided to war with Vince. Like he brought WCW Saturday Night to TBS on cable, right? Like,
Yeah.
and Vince was doing the same thing, I believe, on TNT with Tuesday Night Titans. But even more so, just like bringing sports to people as well, right? Like a gigantic, like Braves Hawks owner,
Yeah.
um, just a guy with that advanced the cable medium. Um, so shout out to Ted Turner, definitely an icon in his genre and everything that he did.
And our condolences
You
to
know,
his family and all that stuff. Yeah. Jane Fonda, that whole
yeah,
sit. Weren't they? They were still
definitely.
married, weren't they?
I don't think so. I'm not
Okay.
sure, but I don't think so.
I have to look
Um,
that up.
so Cage Match gave it a 7.9. I found that by just googling what did Cage Match give it.
So
What
I'm
what
right
did you?
there. I
Where were
gave it a
you at?
7.75.
I'm gonna give it a 7. Um, it was a great Rumble. There were two amazing matches, but then you had a lot of the AAA stuff, which was okay, and then Vince is still on commentary, so we're gonna go 7.
That's still a pretty good score for you, man. I mean,
Oh, there's gonna you're gonna be like, where did my Russian judge go shortly when everything's a 9 for like 3 years?
yeah, where did the East German judge go? Ah, yeah, you're right. Her and Ted Turner divorced in 2001. Boy, I was way off. Sorry, Jane. Didn't mean to suggest anything there. Um, so yeah, a good score. All right, so let's talk about it because I think you have to. People are going to wonder before now in WrestleMania 13. Okay, Austin wins the Royal Rumble. Why doesn't he wrestle for the championship at WrestleMania 13? It's a valid question. It is a very valid question. But so,
Because he didn't win,
well, he did and he didn't. But
right?
let's
But that's
let's
why, for the most part, right?
right. So let's talk about it. So after the next night on Monday Night Raw, Bret Hart is irate for good reason, and he's demanding that he gets declared to be the winner of the Royal Rumble, threatening to quit the company. He's like, "I'm gonna quit." Vince is like,
Oh,
"Please,
Vince is
can you
like, oh,
quit?"
don't do me a favor. Don't do me
Yeah,
any
don't.
favors, buddy.
Yeah, don't threaten me with a good time, Bret.
Yeah.
Um,
Woo.
so Gorilla Monsoon, your uncle the Poon Slayer Jack Tunney is no longer around, but Gorilla's still the commissioner of the
Who
WWF
hates
at this.
Vince, by the way, everybody. Always has, always
That's
will.
right. So Gorilla Monsoon notes that there's some wanky bullshit that went on in this match, but he's not going to reverse the decision because, as we've seen from WrestleMania 4 forward, the decision of the officials is final.
There's
Right?
an episode title, by the way, Wanky Bullshit.
Wanky bullshit. Yeah, that's a
Attitude of
future Vita.
Aggression 350.
Yeah,
Wanky Bullshit.
wanky bullshit. So Gorilla won't reverse the thing, but he's also going to refuse to acknowledge Austin as the championship opportunity at WrestleMania. So he says, due to your actions at the next, there's Mrs. Attitude. Hey, babe. At the next In Your House event, Austin and the three men who were wrongfully eliminated by him, Undertaker, Vader, and Bret Hart, were to leave fake Diesel out of it because Bret eliminated him legitimately. Um, they're going to have a four corners match with the winner receiving the championship opportunity at WrestleMania. But then that's going to take on a whole new mix because 3 days later, on a special Thursday Night Raw, I guess Thursday Night Raw, Shawn Michaels comes out
This Tuesday and wait, no, sorry.
this
This
Tuesday.
Thursday this
This,
Thursday on Raw. Sorry.
yeah, this Thursday on Raw. So this is the iconic moment where Shawn comes out. He's scheduled to defend the title against Sid in a third match on this night, but he says he can't because of a severe knee injury, and Shawn has lost his smile, Tony. This is Shawn Michaels' iconic, "I've lost my smile.
Is
I
this
need to go find it." This is
does
it.
any of this like correlate to like losing one of the eyes later on or no?
I don't know, but he's
Okay.
lost his
I just
smile.
wasn't sure.
He needs to find it again. So the four corners match at In Your House now morphs into the vacant championship. And the winner would then face Sid the next night on Raw. So uh, Bret Hart is going to win the championship at that In Your House. But interference from Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to result in him losing the title to Sid on that Monday Night Raw. So then on the March 17th edition of Raw, and I'm getting all this from Wikipedia, so hopefully they've got it right. But
No, you got it.
this does kind of jive with my recollection. So on the March 17th edition of Raw, Bret Hart and Sid, they go in a steel cage match for the WWF Championship. Sid is going to win after interference by both Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker. And this is going to lead to what we end up with, which is Undertaker gets the shot against Sid at WrestleMania 13. Austin is going to take on Bret Hart in a submission match with Ken Shamrock as a special referee in arguably the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. And that's where we're going to leave off this edition of the Big Five Project. Now, for WrestleMania 13, because we live stream this stuff, we should be doing a watch along of that Bret Hart still Stone Cold Steve Austin match. I'm not sure how we could do that. I've got some ideas I got to think about, but it's certainly a match that we haven't done a watch along in a very long time. That'd be one worth watching along with the folks. I think the only way we could really do it is like I could break out the tablet and watch it through there while you guys watch. Well, if you're on Riverside though, the sound will get all muffled and stuff. So we'll talk about it, Tony. We'll figure it out. But some wild events that lead to why did Stone Cold Steve Austin not get a title shot at WrestleMania 13? That's why. With just a crazy series of events, Shawn is not even going to wrestle at WrestleMania 13 because he hasn't found his smile yet. I know. So sad. But before we cut out of here, your thoughts on this wild, crazy turn of events that leads to where we end up at WrestleMania 13. Just like, I'm like going back trying to remember all this stuff. Like, yeah, I remember this stuff. It was fucking nuts. Or Nuck and Futz.
I like Nuck and Futz. I say that a lot. Dog Buck and Fitch is another good one.
Dadgummit.
You folks wonder why I've been waiting,
Patiently.
and I'll just paraphrase an infamous phrase. Business has picked up.
Mm. It really has. It really, and look, we're going to do WrestleMania 13 next time. It's not the greatest WrestleMania of all time. It's far, far from it. But it has arguably the greatest WrestleMania match ever. That's the centerpiece. It's got the greatest double turn, indebatable.
No, we're almost done, Ray. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, dude, come on. If you're going to jump on now, Ray. If you want to talk about this whole wildness going on at WrestleMania, our main man, Ray Cash. But you got to jump on here now, Ray. We're 2 hours into this damn thing. So if you want to jump in, you know how to get in here. He's like, I hope you're not waiting for me to invite you because you know the studio link, Ray, don't you? Please.
Dave's going off. He's got you got 3 minutes. Make it good.
You got 3 minutes here. No, hopefully Ray jumps on, but like you're saying, man, it's just a wild.
I'll grab another beer. Hurry up, Ray. Get in.
Yeah, come on, Ray, with your demon emoji. Just if you're gonna jump on here, jump on. You don't even have to. I'm sure remember this shit that went down in '97. You don't have to watch Royal Rumble '97. Hopefully Ray jumps on.
No,
here.
Wait,
not,
we'll podcast for 3 hours, Ray, while you watch Royal Rumble '97, and then jump in.
Go ahead and jump on in. We'll keep running at the mouth. We got people watching. But yeah, like you're saying, like we're saying, WrestleMania 13, not the greatest WrestleMania. When you compare it to like 14, it's nowhere close, but it's still iconic. You get one of the greatest matches of all time, the greatest double turn of all time. The rest of it you can kind of do without, but it's a good time and it's a hugely important event. Tunney has waited. He has had immense patience. You could just see him through 1995 and some of 96. 96 was better, but 95 was especially rough. But boy, things have really turned the corner here. Tunney, your final thoughts. I don't think Ray's going to jump on here. He's I don't see it happening. You got any final thoughts on Royal Rumble 1997 as the Attitude Era officially really kind of kicks into its stride here a little bit?
No, beer crack.
That's perfect.
I'm so happy that we've gotten to where we've gotten. And you know what? The beer crack is kind of apropos here because
it actually is.
you work all week, and then Friday after work the beer tastes the best because you've put in the work, right? Like, it was great to go WrestleMania 1 through 6. And then you get to
There he
like
is.
7 through 10 aren't great-ish, and then you get to where we are now. But Ray's here, so we've already obloviated. Let me use one of Ray's favorite terms,
No
obloviated
shit.
enough.
Bloviate Ray.
So since we got Ray, Dave, why don't we? You think should we get like the Ray's cliff notes on
Did you
like
want to run
how
through the Royal Rumble again? And just
No, 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 no. Like
no,
how he feels about Royal Rumble '97, some key things you can ask him about, and then
I
maybe we
will.
get a few key predictions on Backlash.
First
Ray,
and foremost,
what
yes.
what do you remember about Royal Rumble '97?
Ray,
Give
we
me
the heavy hitters, we the OGs over here. We can go 2 hours without batting an eyelash, brother.
That's
this.
true.
This is
We're
true.
already there. We're already there. But
First and foremost, I love you both dearly. Secondly, I was messing with you. I really wasn't trying to come on.
Oh, don't call our
too
bluff,
late.
motherfucker.
Yeah, don't
We
threaten
will
us with a
bullshit.
good time, Ray. Yeah,
We
don't.
Dave and I, we don't even need to talk wrestling. We could talk sports. We can talk
Yeah,
dragons. We can talk aliens.
don't threaten me with a good time, Ray.
I just want to see my boys. I
What
do
do you remember
remember.
about this event?
I remember Stone Cold stealing a win.
Yep.
That is probably one of the most
Ding.
underrated Rumble wins ever because he stole that motherfucker. Nobody cares. Not one person cares. Um, I do remember. Is this the show where we had all the vignettes for months about Sean with Jose Lothario getting ready for the title match? Is this that match? Him against Sid?
No, that's
No.
WrestleMania 12, where
Yeah,
he's
that's
training it for the
Oh,
match with
the
yes.
Brett.
first one. The
Yeah,
first
So
one.
yeah.
that's
This is
That's
the year
where
before.
a year
this is
earlier.
this is the Daredevil Cherry situation where Jose Lothario has the heart attack and Shawn Michaels is distracted, just like
Oh,
Daredevil and
that's
Cherry.
right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
And
yeah.
he gets a camera to the back and a power bomb for his trouble and a
Hey,
title loss.
uh, Jose Lothario, just like Chavo Guerrero Sr., to keep getting them checks, all stars.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
boy, Sean gave that man a whole other 3 years worth of checks just
But
because we was homies.
let me ask you this though. This was where AJ Steeler. Didn't I tell Ray and Dave you don't have to deal with Tunney on trivia? We're dealing with Tunney now. That's right. Hey,
You don't understand. Tony has a voodoo doll of me in his house
he's got
where
a
he can
voodoo
summon
doll
me
of
when he
AJ
wants.
and DPP and everybody but me
AJ,
probably.
AJ. You all have to deal with me whenever I decide you have to deal with me.
He's
Yes.
like
Period.
The Grim Reaper of
Unfortunately for
podcasting.
unfortunately for me, that's like 4 times a
So
day.
So, oh,
Ray,
and by the way, Dave, you asked me why I was up at 2 in the morning this morning
yeah, both of us. Why were we up?
because I woke up 45 minutes before I had to get up this morning to go to work.
Fuck,
That's how
fuck
early
that.
I've been getting up, just so everybody knows.
But you're still coherent right now. Ray, we were talking about the aftermath of this, where a lot of people, and myself included, have often wondered sometimes, not often, but sometimes, how did Stone Cold not get the shot at WrestleMania 13 for the title? And the wacky and crazy series of events that take place after this, with Gorilla saying, I'm not reversing the decision because the decision of the ref is final, but I'm not going to acknowledge your title shot at WrestleMania. You got to go through this fatal four-way whole thing. And then Sean relinquishes the title instead of facing Sid because his knees hurt and he's lost his smile. This is the iconic, I've lost my
Hmm.
smile, Vince. I need to find it. And then Brett wins the title from Sid, or Brett gets a shot. He wins the fatal four way, which now turns into a championship match. Then he defends the title against Sid. Austin gets involved, all this craziness. And we end up with Undertaker versus Sid at WrestleMania 13. And of course, Brett and Stone Cold with Shamrock as the ref. Um, I mean, as far as like post Royal Rumble controversy, this is probably number one as far as just the batshit crazy circumstances that led to this weird
Yeah.
situation.
Well, two things about that. Number one, thank God it didn't happen in 2026. Can you imagine the fight boycott WWE? Man, I'm sick of Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know. And number two, I really would like to know what was the booking plan. Does this go according to how you wanted it to go, or did you pivot?
Well, Vince is dealing with the whole not being able to pay Brett right now too, and wondering what he's supposed to do. So then he does the brilliant thing of putting the title back on him
In
between
multiple
now
WrestleMania
and
times,
season,
multiple
yeah.
times. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like for the last time, for no fucking reason whatsoever. That's why we'll get to the conversation, and we'll get to the article as well eventually.
Well,
So
I
so
think Ray, I think the plan was, if I was to guess, if Sean hadn't gone through all the issues that he went through, I think the plan was Brett Sean rematch at WrestleMania 13, which would have made sense rather than push it off to Survivor Series six
well,
months down the line.
why would you say Brett Sean and not Sean Taker?
There's, I mean, because well, Sean and Taker, well, they hadn't really worked on the Sean Taker angle yet. That's coming later on down in the year when they do the Bad Blood in the first Hell in the
Well,
Cell
sure,
match.
when Sean goes full heel, when he comes back and just says, fuck it, I'm going to
Yeah,
be asshole Sean. But the
right.
reason I'm saying why not Sean Taker is because very clearly I think they knew Taker was the pivot. I think Sid was the accident.
Right.
Taker was the
We
pivot.
we were
But if you
commenting
watch,
well,
we were
Sid
commenting on
is
this
a
episode.
Sid's a giant
We were
accident.
commenting on this episode that Tunney looked
love
into
Sid
it. You want to you want to hazard a guess? I don't know if you were listening when we were talking about it. What's Undertaker's record at the Royal Rumble,
in singles matches.
Oh,
just in
just his
general?
record at the Royal Rumble.
So this counts Rumbles he's lost or won, right?
Yeah,
Well, it's god awful because he's only one run Rumble. He's been in like 12 of them. So
right.
3-15.
That's pretty close. 5-12.
Because I know he won the one Rumble. I know he beat Ray at one. Um, he's definitely, there was,
But just
wasn't,
the dichotomy here, though, the point that's being made is less important about what the matches were. The fact that
yeah.
he has such a lack of success immediately before having 21 straight wins at WrestleMania.
Oh, for sure. But
Like,
again,
there's no Uncle Mo with him consecutively. It's mostly, oh boy, I wonder if he can recover.
Right.
for
And he does
sure.
every time.
I do think those numbers are a bit skewed though, because 29 people lose every year in the Rumble.
Well, you yell at Grok for that then, okay? You
Well,
yell
Yeah.
at
god damn it,
Mitch.
Grok. I'm surprised Dave still rock with Grok.
No, I,
But
I
no,
That's Tunney rocking with Grok. Grok
fair
doesn't want
enough.
to rock with me. So
But the
just
Taker, the only reason I say the
assistant.
Taker Sean could have been the point is because if you watch the lead up and then lead up to and the actual Rumble match, they clearly had something set for Austin and Brett.
yeah, yeah. From Survivor
So
Series '96 forward. Yeah.
exactly. So that's why I'm thinking if Sean's the champ and he go ahead and vanquishes Sid, and the only big bad he has left that he ain't vanquished is Big Bad Take,
Yeah.
and
Maybe.
So you're
you
telling
have 2
me
months to build that.
you're telling me the only time they should have had Brett with the title, they didn't have Brett with the title. Like Austin should have beat Brett for the title at WrestleMania 13, but yet they
Yes,
give Brett the title every other time they shouldn't have it during the contract problems.
indeed.
That makes sense.
It's
I
all
like it.
bullshit. I'm going to tell you why when we get there.
um, yeah, the whole thing is it's an interesting match. The whole situation just gets very. Oh, my wife's bringing me alcohol. Thank you, hon.
Oh,
Um,
happy Mother's Day,
thanks, babe.
Kayleen.
She
Happy
wants
Mother's
another
Day, babe.
baby. She wants
She
another
wants another
baby.
baby. That would be a neat trick, honey. That would be a neat trick. Um, so one of my headphones is giving out on me, but that's okay. We'll just keep rolling here. Ray, before we cut out of here, because
Yep.
I know you didn't want to come on. Yeah, I mean, you wanted to come on, but you weren't going to. But like we talked about the outset, Backlash is tomorrow. You got any great predictions as to something to watch? Give us one thing to watch for tomorrow for Backlash before we cut out of here.
One thing to watch for. I think CM Punk is the partner.
For Danhausen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah,
I
that makes a
just
lot of sense.
because Punk isn't doing anything right now, and that's his homie, and that could be a fun little pop, get him back involved, ingratiated. Um, I do think though, a lot of people think these B tier PLEs that 5 matches. Io Scott Oscar will be one of the best matches to see all year.
There you go.
I have
We
no
said
doubt.
that's the show stealer. That's
I
the
have no
show
doubt.
stealer right
Oh
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and with everything that's happened, them getting pulled off of WrestleMania, Kyrie getting let go, they got something to prove.
Yeah. They really do. They really do. Um, what do you think is John Cena's big announcement?
This club WWE bullshit.
Okay. I thought it's that or and it could be or probably and they're gonna announce Nashville's got WrestleMania 44.
They wouldn't do that in Tampa.
No?
No, they only do those type of things when they're in the in the actual arena, or they'll just put it on social. They're not gonna announce that in Tampa.
All right. I mean, yeah,
It's,
this whole
yeah.
WWE club, but that makes sense. This whole like we got this mega world changing announcement, and it's gonna be that. It's like, ah, fuck.
Well, but so if they, but the way they're patterning it to kind of, if we were honest, kind of isolate the IWC and create their own. It's really terrifying from a personal standpoint, but genius from a business standpoint. You want to you care about WWE, you can pay to be a fan, and you'll be our audience.
Makes sense to me.
I'm already personally a part of the WWE the when they do the poll, not the polls, but the surveys. I get the surveys. That's free, but
I
I get
used
the
to get that
surveys.
stuff,
Yeah.
but I guess they got sick of me not answering their bullshit. So
Yeah, if you don't answer in like
it's
6 months, they won't
yeah,
fuck with
fuck off. I'm sick of telling you what you're doing wrong, and you guys don't listen. So guys, I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Big Five Project. Like I said, Ray, we were talking about, if there's a match that we should do a watch along for, it should be Austin and Brett. I just don't
Hold
know how
on.
we pull that
Hold
off.
on.
So,
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Ray,
you. Yeah.
this is the 350th episode of Attitude of Aggression.
Oh
that's
my
true.
God.
It is.
Let me
Thank
tell
you,
you
Ray.
something. Let me tell you something, David Ungar. Um,
Do not
I
blame me for David San
no,
Martino.
well, that will
Yeah, bitch,
never.
I'm out of here. Fuck you and your 350 bullshit. David San Martino making me watch, son of a bitch. Fuck 350, I'm out. Ray Cash, bitch.
Ray's scarred for life. Yeah.
No, so let's end the show on this very, very serious note. I don't think you understand how much we at the Chair Shot and the people who work with you and have the pleasure to call you a friend and a brother. I don't think you understand how much you mean to us and how important you are to us, because not attitude of aggression. What you do with the chair shot is big deal important. You're always in a call away. If I need an article, if I need a blurb, if I need a podcast, if I need someone to come in, you're always willing to be there. A text message at 2 o'clock in the morning, 6 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 6 in the afternoon. You're always there. But your fucking consistency with what you do, how often you do it, and the quality of the shit you do, the different ideas you come up with. You'll do fucking unidentified history with by your goddamn self for 3 hours and you in that hole, but you gonna do it. Your consistency and what you mean to us, what you mean to this brand, what you mean to this family is immeasurable. And to hit 350, that shit don't happen just to anybody. So I don't have a hat on. Well, Tony's not gonna take his hat off, but we'll tip our hats to you because you fucking deserve it. And I genuinely fucking love you, dude. This is a crazy fucking accolade, my boy. And here's the 350 more.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. If you told me a year ago that a lot of this stuff would be UFO related and Game of Thrones related, I'd be like, you got to be kidding me. But boy,
And David San Martino related.
well,
All right, thanks for joining us,
if there
everybody.
is,
That's
hey
Ray
Ray,
Cash. This is the last time you're ever going to see his
hey
bitch
Ray,
ass.
I was going to say this: if you need proof of alien life, there's David San Martino.
I mean, you right.
Oh, shit.
That's a good
Wow.
boy. The hybrids are here.
The
Full
hybrids
circle
are
son of
here.
a bitch.
Ray, where can people check out what's going on over at thechairshot.com and where can they find you? I mean, you are going to change your name to Christoph Cash, right? Is that what's going on?
Well, whatever y'all decide to call me, every episode of Phenomenally Funky Facts recorded tonight, dropping tomorrow, live video and audio
I
on the Chair
earned my
Shot.
right into the Tournament of Champions.
Goddamn right, the winner over there, Mr. Dave Ungar. No, shout out to AJ. We had a great show. That was what we did before this show. Shout out to that. But yeah, I'm at Israel Cash on on Twitter, Ray Hustle on the other stuff. Follow me and REY. Follow your boy. Check out everything on the chair shot. Asian American and Pacific Islander month. Got all the photo journals for you guys. Got the what ifs going for the premium events. Young Tunnyford got a column coming one of these days, really, really soon. Big shit going down. Check us out. Always new shit, always new stuff. We got news back, review, well, sorry, results, podcasts, columns, trivia, daily trivias, weekly trivias. Whatever you want, you got it. Just no OnlyFans. But other than that, how's your boys?
Well, that's coming. I mean, Chair Shot After Dark is not far off. So, oh
The
man, I tell
total
you,
package.
the total package for real, kids, for reals. I got to give a shout out to my partner, my main man, PC Tunney. I know this is the 350th episode of
The
Attitude of
glue.
Aggression. At least 300 of those would not have been possible without you, Tunney. So you
The
are as
glue.
big a part of this as anybody. So I want to thank you personally for all the help you've given me. Dude, your idea to instead of coming up with like totally separate podcasts for unidentified history or game gone wrong, to just merge them into the Attitude of Aggression and turn it into a network-ish of its own, was a great idea, man. It really brilliant stuff. You are absolutely brilliant, my friend. Where can people check out all the stuff you've got going on social media?
You can find me on OnlyFans at My Feet and Mayo.
That is disgusting.
That is a moneymaker, Ray. Jesus, what are you talking about?
I don't fuck with feet or mayo. So yuck. Yuck.
Wow.
I'm done here. I don't care. Whatever, right there, PC
You
Tutty.
could see at
So
PC Tutty.
don't get
Yeah.
better than that. My Feet and
Yeah.
Mayo on OnlyFans. Find me there.
Yeah, you need to change your handle to that, or at least add that
I
as
can't.
a
I'll be
fee.
unverified for a couple days. It's bullshit.
That's true. That's true.
That's a good point.
As
Go to
far
Blue
as
Sky.
me, as far as I'm concerned, you can the best thing to do is to follow or go to the website attitudeofaggression.com, especially like all the historical stuff I've been doing for unidentified history, the recaps of like UAP Summit, UAP Con 2. I'm thinking, guys, one of these days I'm just going to take all that shit and make a book out of it, the unidentified archives or
Why
What do
something.
you
not?
know about writing a
I
book?
sh-
What do you know about writing a book?
Yeah,
Not
Mr.
much.
Barbecue King.
Yeah, exactly. But attitudeofaggression.com, check out the YouTube channel, Attitude of Aggression's YouTube channel. And I'm going to pimp it here until X reinstates me one of these days, maybe. Yeah, exactly.
When
Go
they change it
to
to why?
facebook.com/attitude of aggression. Um, we are now live streaming over there as well as over here on YouTube. But those are the best places to get a hold of me. Um, Guys, that's going to do it for this episode of the Big Five Project. On the next episode of the Big Five Project, WrestleMania 13, we'll see what we can do with Austin versus Brett, one of the greatest matches of all time, anywhere that you will ever see. And then we start getting into some wild shit. We got King of the Ring 97. We got Canadian Stampede, SummerSlam, and of course, one of the most infamous nights in the history of professional wrestling is coming up.
This
Survivor Series
Tuesday in
97,
Texas.
Ray's dad will be there for that.
Ray was having a good time.
I was.
Ray
The guy-
was is the key
No,
word.
no sound
Ruined
coming out
it
now.
for me. He's
There you
not my daddy.
I can hear something.
He's not my father. Give me child support.
Yeah, because he abandoned you for years, that motherfucker. That Winnie the Pooh bastard, that son of a bitch.
Fucking deadbeat ass. Him and Rey Mysterio need to hang out together.
On the next edition of the Attitude of Aggression podcast, Rob Burnett.
You're right. Rob Burnett talks about child support. We will
Where's-
catch you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this episode. Until next time, as we always say, wrestling fans and aggressionaholics, stay aggressive. Do it with attitude. We will catch you next time for WrestleMania 13. Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy Backlash. Talk to you guys soon.
I can't drop my beer.
Double release.